Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Bronze Reaper podcast. I'm your host, Rosalind Perkins, and we got a great show. I have to start over, but it's straight. It was a little mistake, but I can't risk to getting another strike right now because I'm on my second one already, and I gotta wait another month to get it off. I gotta wait a month to get it off. So definitely we can't risk this show getting another strike. The topic question is Black Americans. Hold on, give me a second, everybody. The topic question is Black Americans stop supporting birthright citizenship. To me, this is very very important because at the end of the day, it's showing us we're fighting for. This is another step of us fighting for reparations. If you don't think so, if you do think so, just definitely tell us why. One of the reasons why I believe this is a step closer of us getting reparation is because we it'll it'll separate us from other people from the Caribbeans, from Africa, from the even the Latin countries, and we have our own identity. You hear you hear a lot of people fighting about identity, and Black people don't have an identity. We're showing you that this is our identity, and we don't have an identity crisis. Um, Give me a second, everybody. Okay, cool, cool, cool. But yeah, I had to reset it because, like I said, I already have a strike for some other shit that it was. I wouldn't want to say it's meaningless, but it's the laws. You know, it's the laws of the land, as I always says, and it's not my platform, so I have to respect the laws of the land because basically I'm an independent podcaster or streamer or whatever how people say it. I'm independent to this. Um, I want to tell immigrants this, because I have to start over. A lot of stuff that y'all have done in the past is starting to haunt y'all in 2026. When Black Americans were pro-Black, pro-African, pro-Pan-African, pro-everything, you know, I think you might have to apologize and actually fight for reparation and let Black Americans help Black Americans fight for reparation. And not even like, yo, just tell us all this is no, just support us. When these votes come out, support reparations, support pro Black laws and stuff like that. That's what you're gonna have to do. Because if you don't, it's gonna get ugly. It's gonna get so give me a second, everybody. I have to check something real fast. I knew this was gonna happen. Let me delete that. All right. Oh, fuck, I have to delete that. Damn, I didn't want to delete that because that was a good conversation. But we would have to. You're gonna have to support Black laws and Black situations and stuff like that. And if you don't, it's up to you. With your situation, because at the end of the day, everything is a transaction now. We didn't make the laws; we just followed it. We didn't make the rules; we just adapt to them. And this is the part of things. This is a part of society that a lot of people who are from different countries is gonna have to understand. The things that you were doing it's basically the things that you're gonna have to follow too. Give me a second, everybody. Sunday, sweet. But yeah, I want to tell you. I want to say this. Um, and this is just me. Give me a second, everybody. I have to switch. I have to fix something. Yada yada yada. Okay, that's better. All right. because I had to fix everything over again. I had to start everything over again. We did 2 hours. I guess I'm gonna have to do another 2 hours. That I did, messes up the time. Um, I want to say this. I believe, I believe the immigrants can get through these birthright citizenships, but I think they are fighting for the wrong thing. The reason why I said that they are fighting for the wrong thing is is because I think they should be fighting for better laws of getting citizenship. This TPS, the temporary what protection, whatever or whatever it is, it's the wrong thing to be fighting for to even have because you can still get sent back. They should be fighting for laws of being citizens or even having dual citizenship. I think that would be great. And this is to help y'all out, It doesn't help me out, it doesn't help black Americans out, but it does help you out the most. If you fight for that. If you don't fight for it, then like I said, it's gonna be long. It's gonna be a long fight that you're fighting for, you know. Give me a second, everybody. I have to fix everything again. Jesus Christ. Give me a second. Give me a sec. I'm almost done, everybody. All right, we're back. Um, I will also say this. I think this is a wake up call for you because I know there's going to be a lot being sent back to Haiti, even Africa, but I think Haiti is what they call it I think they're trying it out on the Haitians and the Syrians, I believe, first. Even I'm gonna say this: even if a Democrat becomes the president in the next 2 years, these laws is still gonna have to stay because it's gonna cost a lot more money. You know, the question the question that America has to ask: do they have enough money where it's not gonna jeopardize other people? For these people to stay in America. To to me, I if Trump is already making these laws and it's cutting money. It's cutting down tax money to be spent on these people to come to this country. The question is, I always feel like there will be a backlash to it because again, they might be. I don't believe so, but they might be effect. I mean, a job effects from these situations and stuff. But it also creates jobs for other people. The real question is that they're gonna have to pay these people. You know, I personally do believe that there are jobs out here for everybody. It's just these people are not looking for the what's going on. Ewo, shout out to you, player. These jobs, these jobs are these jobs are what is the word? There's jobs out here for people, but these jobs are not what people want. The way the pay wages went up, especially if you do a central job. So it's not like oh yeah, people are getting paid $12, $13 an hour in some of these states. In my state, I think that the minimum is like $20 an hour, 18 to $20 an hour. That's the minimum. I make what 25, 26 an hour. Um, yeah, that's how much I make an hour. But like I said, it's they're paying me, and I've been doing my job for what 3, 4 years. So it's not like oh yeah, I didn't work hard and I lucked up or I had to kiss the knees. No, it's just I worked hard to get as much as money as I want, and I fought for to get that $25, $26 an hour. So It's just like I said, you gotta have to fight for those out. You have to fight for your wage. You know, a lot of these people are just saying no instead of like, oh well, you know what? How can I get this? How can I get that? And this is technically to Black Americans, you know, because there are jobs out here for Black Americans, and I'm talking about once you go in for a job, and this is if you don't have a job as a Black American. You know, if you don't have a job, you be like, yo, how can I get this amount of money? What are you looking for so I can make this amount of money? You know, blah, 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 and all this other stuff. Like, I'm going to tell you this. I have got screwed over by jobs and stuff. And I'm talking about jobs that wasn't really even paying me. I remember I worked at Whole Foods when I was younger. When I was in college, I had two jobs. And this is the only time I ever had two jobs, other than like side jobs and stuff like that. This right here, this is a side job that I do. That I am building platforms and it's an investment. Um, but I worked at Whole Foods. I was a good cashier. I was a cashier. I worked hard as a cashier and stuff like that. But this is when the LGBTQIA community was coming out. You know, and I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna be honest. The LGBTQIA, they didn't at that time. They didn't support Black Americans. They didn't. So I'm not gonna sit here and lie to you and say like, oh yeah, we were all one, and even though that the people, the creators were lesbian, a lot of those LGBTQIA communities, they didn't support Black Americans. They ostracized Black Americans, especially men. You know, so like me, I hold no grudges. You know, this was years ago, but like I said, I have to tell the truth about what went down. You know, like for example, they got me fired. You know, they got me like I'll explain how they got me fired. One got me fired because the girl asked me about the girl told me I was like, "Oh, I guess somebody was talking about their preference and she told me she was fluent. She was fluent. I guess now they call it non-binary, but she said she was fluid. I to this day still don't know cuz and I don't want to know. Um and I said I still don't know. So I try to look. This is when like YouTube wasn't even popping off like that. So I asked one of my coworkers, I was like, yo, what's fluent? Like I didn't even tell the girl's name. I just asked what it was. I was like, yeah, what is that? I never heard of that. I'm just trying to figure it out what it was. She ran off and told the manager that I was being homophobic. And I asked the manager, how am I being homophobic? Said, "Oh yeah, well you was talking." I was like, "Well, I was trying to figure out what it was so I can understand, you know, what she was saying." You know, and the reason why I said it was her because she went to the manager and told her. You know, so and this is, I'm not saying I don't support LGBTQIA people. It's just I stay away from it. If they ask for my support, I'll tell them no, but I wish you the best. And that's the reason why I don't get into none of that. And I'll say this: a lot of gay people don't support LGBTQIA. And it's the truth. You know, I have a friend named Jimmy. He was like, "Yo, I don't support that shit." I was like, "Why not?" I was like, "Ain't that your community?" He's like, "No, that's not my community." I was like, "Why would you think that's my community?" I was like, "Because I thought it supports your preference." You know. He's like, "No, that's it's not me." He's like, "Yo, he's like it causes too much problems." He's like, "It causes too much problems and everything." So he's like, "I don't fuck with it." So yeah, it comes to situations like that where it's and like and I'm gonna tell y'all this. This is why I don't judge a lot of people, man. That's what you do. That's what you do. You know. Excuse me. Yeah, it's just like I said. I don't support it, but I wish them the best at their journey that they're trying to achieve. You know, but and the reason why I don't support it because they don't support Black Americans. You know, it's only when, like I said, it's transactional. Because if you kind of look at it, that the Black Lives Matter, um, the LGBTQIA community was kind of brought out because of Black Lives Matter and what's the other one, the Me Too movement. That's when we started getting the LGBTQIA and stuff like that. And like I said, it's cool. It's just I don't want nothing to do with it. That's not my community. I could be with people, talk with them, and all this other stuff. But other than that, nah, I don't want to get into none of that. It's always been like that with me and stuff like that. That's why. I was talking to. I remember having a therapist, and I told my therapist that. And I had a therapist because my Grammy wanted me to go to therapy. I would have never went to therapy, but yeah, she wanted me to go to therapy for an hour. Um, she was like, "Oh," she was like, "Do you support people?" I was like, "What do you mean? Do you support like other communities and stuff like that?" I was like, "Nah, I don't support that." She's like, "Why?" I told her I'm not against it. It's just I don't support it. It's none of my business. I was like, last time I was trying to learn what these people were talking about, what they fighting for, and all this other bullshit. They got me fired from my job. She's like, "The fuck?" I was like, "I don't want to know nothing about it," you know. But yeah, I don't support that shit. I just, like I said, I don't want nothing to do with it. Um, and like I said, it's not that I hate them. It's just, yeah, it causes too many problems with my community. You know, yeah. So yeah, I want to say this also. I want to say that also birthright citizenship. The reason why I don't support it or I stay out of it or I tell black Americans stay out of it is because it's not our fight. It has never been our fight and won't be our fight. Um we are more American than even the white Americans. They're basically the cultures through us, the influence through us, the inspiration is through us. Even if we put it this way, we could have 100 more white presidents, black Americans will still be the influence, the inspiration of this country. It will always be because what we created, we created the country. We created 50% of the country and we're only 13%. That's telling you something, so it's acceptable. It's to this day I could say this. I get it, but I think people have to understand and tell the truth about America. America is black Americans, and the reason why is because we don't bring immigrant culture. We don't talk about my forefathers from Germany or my forefather from England, Scotland, Ireland. We don't do that. We say my family from Alabama, my auntie from Alabama, my cousin from Georgia, Mississippi, Texas, Tennessee. We say stuff like that. We don't say from other countries. You know, even with the Pan Africanism stuff, we don't say our family. Niggas might say their ancestors, and they're misinformed when they do that. I personally believe that is being misinformed when you say my ancestors from Africa, because you don't know no ancestors from Africa. And that's what's going on, Rando. Shout out to you. Yeah, because you don't know no ancestors from Africa. And we have to be honest about that. Give me a second. I have to close down my job thing. But yeah, you have to be honest about that. You know. Give me a second, everybody. One more. Give me 1 second. I gotta look up one more other thing, and we're good. No, that's good. But yeah, yeah, that's what we. That's I'm gonna say this. That's the difference between us and white Americans. This is why I'm doing a show on Wednesday about Ellis Island. You know, this is and I'm gonna tell you this. This is because I'm showing you why the Ellis Island is more telling you why Black Americans are more Americans than anybody in this country. Because we only talk about American culture. We don't talk about English culture. We don't talk about African culture, Caribbean culture. We do have Pan Africanism, even though it's a fake movement or an ideology. Um, yeah, it's a fake movement or an ideology, if you ask me. And the reason why I say it's fake is because we don't benefit from it. Africa benefits from it. Maybe even the Caribbeans, but the Caribbeans are actually doing pushbacks right now. Give me a second. Yada, yada, yada. Do, 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 do. Give me a second, everybody. But yeah, that's the only thing. Does American bring does white America bring culture? Yes, they do bring some type of culture, but it's not culture that a lot of Black Americans or anybody in America follows. The most influential culture is American culture, but the American culture that everybody's talking about is Black American culture. For example, macaroni and cheese, it has been modified so many times. Even Haitians have their own macaroni and cheese. The Jamaican has their own macaroni and cheese, but where did they get the idea of macaroni cheese from? From America. James Madison, as I believe that's his name. James Madison was the guy who created macaroni cheese. He was, I believe, Thomas Jefferson's chef. I believe that was him. He went to France to, I guess, pick up the ingredients of what he wanted to create and stuff like that. Like, yeah, he picked up the ingredients and he made macaroni cheese out of it. And he taught other people, and he used that to get out of slavery and buy his own freedom. He taught other people how to make macaroni and cheese. You know, just shit like that. I think that's really important to know. Just things like that, and like I said, that's why I'm having a show on Wednesday about Ellis Island. You know, it would be a great. It's because it's a great research show. Yeah, it's a great research show, and it's great to. It's great for people to see history on the other side, if you understand what I mean. Um, but let's get back into birthrights because in 10-15 minutes I'm gonna start the show. Um, I want to say this: birthright citizenship. I do agree with birthright citizenship for people, but it cannot be abused. You can't anchor your kids over here. You cannot anchor your kids over here and think you're gonna stay and reap the milk and honey of America. If anything, I think you should have to your rights if you want the benefits from America. And this is just what I agree. And I think they should take that. I think We should keep the birthright citizenship for Black Americans, but create it for other people who do come over here for other people who come over here from other countries. Hmm. All of them. I think it'll work better that way. I think birthright citizenship complicates the birthright citizenship complicates what birthright citizenship is for when it comes for other people. Um, I do think that should only be for Black Americans, but I think we need a creative system for immigrants to come over here for America, where where people can achieve their American dream. No, that's if we want to make it fair. You know, give me a second, everybody. Okay, but yeah, I think that would be perfect. That would be a perfect way of like figuring out the birthright citizenship. But I don't think Black Americans should be able to. I don't think Black Americans should help other people stay in this country illegally. You know, because it is what it is. It is illegal. You know, it is illegal, and we can't act like it's not illegal. You know, give me a second. Mm. Oh shit! Today is Friday. Let me drop the link too. So today I will drop the link because it is Friday, and I totally forgot it was Friday. So if anybody wants to come on here, just let me know. I'll drop the link, like as I always say. But yeah, I believe, like I said, I believe that birthright citizenship should only be for Black Americans, but you should create a system for immigrants to stay in this country legally. I don't think the birthright citizenship should be for everybody, and that's just me. Give me a second. Yada, yada. Let me ask y'all a question. Do you think, when you can answer this later, do you think we should do a show only on like just debates? You know me, I don't like to debate. I just like to talk and stuff like that. But I like to have a conversation. Um, because a lot of y'all like to debate. I know this. We figure out a topic, y'all debate on it, blah blah blah. All that cool shit. I think that would be super dope for y'all. But I'm gonna wait until the audience get a little bit bigger. Definitely, I think that'll be great. But yeah, it's. Give me a second. Let me see how this look. I'm sorry, but I didn't even see how it looks. Hey, also too. Hey, did y'all week? Yo, did this week go fast for y'all like it went for me? Like my week went so fast. Not even take no days off this week. Always take some days off of work. Because I'm gonna build up my sick time now. Because I'm gonna take a few days off. I know some of them are gonna be mad because I'm taking days off because they hate when I take days off. The job gets a little bit crazy, but yeah, I have to take some days off, man. I don't be stressed, but I be aggravated going to work. I'm like, yo, leave me the fuck alone. You know, I'm always have to fix something. I'm always have to. It's just so much. Hold on, give me a second, everybody. Mm-mm-mm. All right, I'm almost set. I have to go to my YouTube real fast. I mean, my Twitter. Mm. All right, there we go. Yeah. Everybody, don't forget to like and subscribe and comment in the live chat. And also, don't forget to share. It's very important. Also, don't forget to hit the don't forget to donate. Don't forget to donate. You know, you could do Cash App. I'm thinking about doing Venmo for y'all too. If y'all want to do Venmo, I'll definitely could do Venmo for y'all. You just gotta let me know and stuff like that. I just yeah, I just make it a little bit more easier for y'all, just so y'all can give to the system and stuff. Give me a second. Yeah, I gotta start all this stuff over, everybody. I apologize. But yeah, yeah. Like I said, it's a. Oh, are they still talking about that kid? Yeah, these people are crazy. But yeah, like I said, it's. I think personally, I think they should make a Like again, this is just me. You don't have to. You don't have to do it. You don't have to. You don't have to agree what I agree with, but I do think they need to make a better system for what you call it, for immigrants to come to this country. I do think that's a must thing, that they must need thing in this country. I don't think they should go by birthright citizenship. So yeah, it's like I said. I don't think it should be. I don't think they should use the was it the 14th Amendment, and that's just me, because like I said, it complicates thing, and it's an old law for Black Americans. This is the beneficial. This is this is the things that we do talk about in the Black community. Why are they benefiting off of something that's supposed to only be for Black Americans? And that's what I do agree with Trump, even though I think he's a piece of shit. I think Trump is a piece of shit, but I do agree with that. No, it's now on. Hold on one second. It's now on. Give me a second. Yeah, it's a messed up situation for them. Do I feel bad? No, because as I said on my first stream that I did, Black Americans warned y'all. Black Americans warned Black Americans warned immigrants on that. Hold on a second. Oh, it's crazy. But yeah, I think, like I said, it's a yeah, I think that's the problem. But I'll say this too. I think Black Americans is doing the right thing. They're fighting for what is right, as like they always have done. I know a lot of people get mad about that, but you really can't get mad about it, because this is what Black Americans were. I mean, are Black Americans has always done that. They always fought for you know making it better for themselves and others, but I think now they're just not doing it for other people. They're just doing it for themselves, because they understand that, okay, you know what, we by ourselves. We by ourselves. We have no one to help us. So you kind of can't be mad at Black Americans when it comes to that situation. you know. But they'll get. I don't think they'll get it though. Hold on. But yeah, I will also say this. I want I'm gonna say this to Haitians. I do want y'all Haitians to actually do something yourselves. You know, y'all talk about all this pride and all this other stuff that you have, and this isn't me trolling. This is just me, just being honest with you. You saying that you're resilient like Black Americans? Show the resiliency. Why the only person who is very resilient right now in Haiti is barbecue. It is. It's barbecue. Barbecue is the only one fighting. Barbecue is the only one telling the truth. This nigga had the Mini Men song playing. He had the Mini Men song playing because he knows he's getting busy out here. You know, he knows he's getting busy out here. So yeah, it's yeah. So it's you just got to be ready. You got to be ready. Y'all got to be ready out here. Y'all can't look for help. When black Americans when black Americans were out here getting busy, we were we didn't look for help. If you was with us, you was with us. If not, we ain't looking for you. You know? And it's we have to be that way. We have to be that way. And it's that's the only way we can win. That's the only way we can win is we're by ourselves. If we're fighting for each other, if we depend on each other. If we don't depend if you we don't depend on each other, I mean if we depend on other people, we it's not gonna work. It's not gonna work at all. You know, so this is why I say this. This is why I always tell people I love black Americans. I love being black, you know, because this is what we show. I mean, this is the resilience that everybody wants. This is the resilience that, you know, what we show towards other people. You know, so like I said, y'all got to get with the program when it comes to us. You know, give me a second. Let me go back out here. But yeah, that's the resilience. You know, and I'm gonna say this. I always tell y'all, yeah, I don't support Pan Africanism because it doesn't work for Black Americans. It might work, and I'm gonna say this: it might work for Jamaica, Trinidad, you know, Latin countries. It just doesn't work for Black America. You know, black it doesn't work for Black America. It failed Black America, but it might work for Jamaica. Again, it might work for Trinidad and Tobago's. Was it Barbados? But it just doesn't work for Black Americans, and you can't make nothing work if it just doesn't work. It just doesn't work for Black Americans, and you know, and I'm gonna say this to a lot of Pan Africans: y'all gonna have to get over that. It just doesn't work for us. And I'm gonna say this: I believe the Pan African movement should be fighting to keep Haiti here. It shouldn't be Black Americans. It shouldn't be. Like, let me ask y'all a question. What is the Pan African community doing for the immigrants that are about to get deported? That and I'm gonna say this: you usually see Black Americans fight. You don't usually see Pan Africans fight. You know, you might hear them talk, you might hear them, you know, politic, but fight, no, never, never. One thing I do agree with Pan Africanism is that they agreed that was it Black Lives Matter did not it did not represent Black American black it did not represent Black people. It didn't, you know. And like I said, all of that stuff is okay if it didn't. When I talk, people be thinking I be saying something bad. I'm not saying anything bad. I'm just saying that it just doesn't support Black Americans. Doesn't We don't benefit from it. You know, other countries that Black Americans never been to benefit off of it more than we do. We don't care about liberation or liberating Africa because at least like 90% of Black Americans are not going to Africa. Not even 50% of Black people are going to Africa. So that's telling you something. That's telling you that, like, yo, we're fighting for other people's affairs, and that's something that I don't want to do and that I can't afford to do. So today we're gonna watch a few videos. We're gonna watch a few videos on birthright citizenship and seeing why are Black Americans turning away from birthright citizen. I mean, supporting birthright citizenship for immigrants. So give me a second, everybody. All right, so we're gonna watch the Tariq Nasheed first. On I guess it's Trump signed a new birthright citizenship order. Actually, I don't even want to watch that first because I want y'all to watch the news one first. So we're gonna watch this one first.
Continue on with our top stories. And in fact, right now, speaking live there in the White House, we have this vantage point of President Trump. This shot just now came into our newsroom. Let's pop up the audio and listen in.
Okay, thank you very much. We have a few subjects that we're going to discuss, all important, but one in particular important having to do with birthright citizenship. And Will, if you would, maybe you could,
Sure.
We'll start it off with what Howard's going to be discussing.
So, a short while ago, sir, you signed an order relating to the polysilicon industry. This is a series of trade and tariff actions under Section 232 intended to ensure that domestic polysilicon manufacturing is properly supported and protected from overseas dumping and offshore threats. Howard can speak more to the details, but polysilicon is.
We want to hear about birthright.
Policies have this
it's manufacturing jobs. The president has stabilized this. Now the manufacturing jobs are going up. So all of these
the criminal cartels dismantling the it had no way you could sign the default action. It ensures that large numbers of people who wrongly would be getting birthright citizenship will know who president debate. Sure, 14th Amendment was passed. The president signed these two executive orders here relating to birthright citizenship and birth tourism. As the president mentioned, the 14th Amendment was passed exclusively in the aftermath of the Civil War so to ensure that the children of slaves would be citizens. It had no other meaning and purpose outside of that. And that's been clear, obviously, since the day that it was passed. You can go back and you can read the congressional debates. This is not something that's even...
This is why I said that they should make a new law for people who are immigrants that's coming over to this country to make it easier for them. Trying to tether off the 14th Amendment, it's going to confuse people. This is why he's saying what he's saying. I'm not saying I agree with it. I'm not trying to say I disagree with it, but I'm saying that's the law and that's what it was for.
Seriously contested by had no other meaning and purpose outside of that. And that's been clear, obviously, since the day that it was passed. You can go back and you can read the congressional debates. This is not something that's even seriously contested by anybody. The president is using his authority as commander-in-chief to sign first an executive order using the new ruling the Supreme Court issued to expand the definitions of people who are ineligible for birthright citizenship. That includes, for example, alien enemies of the United States, members of foreign terrorist organizations, and large categories of people who lobby and act on behalf of foreign governments. And so with taking this action, it ensures that large numbers of people who wrongly would be getting birthright citizenship will no longer be eligible for those benefits. The second action that he's taking, which is especially historic, is for the first time ever in American history to ban birth tourism. So I want you to really let that sink in. This has been something that people have talked about not only for years, but for decades. The idea that people come here pretending to be a tourist, pretending to be a visitor, saying they want to go to Disneyland, or they want to go visit a monument or go to a national park, but the real reason they're here is to have a child, to make that child an automatic citizen, leave our country, and then have a U.S. citizen child. It gives them access under this broken system to welfare benefits, ultimately to the voting booth, and all the other rights and privileges that belong solely to Americans. So that practice of birth tourism is, as of the signing of this order, hereby banned.
So I'm gonna say this. That is a good idea, but now you gotta now you have to ask the question: what about the people who were already here? I mean, who are here before the law? That's the question you have to ask. The people who are already here, do they have to go back or do they have to stay? This is the thing where I told people, and it's gonna fuck up how people's ideology on trying to, only dating their own tribes and shit like that. Are you good? Will it affect you if you have a baby by an American? You know? Because they're just talking about people who are already pregnant by somebody from Africa or Asia or Europe, and they come over here and have a baby. But the real question is, what happens if the kids is mixed? Like the mom is American or the father is American or from some another country and stuff? Will it affect that?
And what that means is that no one in the world is any more allowed to obtain a visa for this fraudulent purpose. It is probably, and President Trump has done many historic things on immigration, too many to list now, sealed the southern border shut, record deportations, record integrity, stopping foreign terrorist entry, record reduction in drug seizures, dismantling criminal cartels, dismantling the gangs, right? Everything he's done that has been so unprecedented. I would put this in the top 3 in terms of importance because it ends what has been one of the gravest and most egregious abuses of the American system, and it keeps American citizenship sacred.
Thank you. Okay.
Mr. President.
That's big stuff. That's a big deal.
Mr.
Please, go
President.
ahead.
Thank you. On the birth tourism executive order, what are the plans for enforcement in terms of cracking down on birth tourism? Hotels is common in parts
So
of
we're
California.
cracking down very big crackdowns, and this will give us the right to do it in a much more forceful manner. But they've taken birthright citizenship and they've made a joke out of it. And we're actually the only country of size, I think just about the only country, period, that does birthright citizenship. I thought we were going to win it at the Supreme Court, unfortunately.
No, I think Canada does it too. Like if you have a baby in Canada, the father can stay in Canada because they don't want the kid to be without their father. So that's what I think Drake's father was doing. That's why, but he caught a charge and he couldn't come back to Canada. I believe that's what he was doing. I'm not sure. That's something I would have to research.
Unfortunately, we had a bad decision, very unfair decision. Our country suffers because of it, and we're ending it a different way.
Mr. President, at the Supreme Court, John Sauer, the Solicitor General, did not have an answer as to how many individuals take advantage of birth tourism. Is there a number that you
I'll
can
tell you
cite?
right now, hundreds of thousands, okay? Hundreds of thousands. You have one man came in with a family, said he had 56 children. Another one came in. They said they had 98 children. This was not what it was for. This was meant for the babies of slaves. It was right after 1 week or 2 weeks after the Civil War ended. This wasn't for wealthy multi-millionaires, billionaires coming in and bringing 15, 20, 30 children along with them. It's become a big business.
I think Donald Trump is talking about, what's his name, Elon Musk. Elon Musk got like 12 kids. I think that's who Donald Trump is talking.
That business, please.
What makes you confident, Mr. President, that this will pass constitutional muster?
I think it will. I think, in fact, I asked a very talented person named Will Scharf, who's standing right behind me. Do you want to discuss that, Will? You felt pretty strongly about it.
The law is absolutely clear. What we're talking about, as Stephen said, with respect to birth tourism, something that used to happen incidentally, where somebody who happened to be on vacation here went into labor early and had a baby. This was sort of a relatively small problem. What we've seen in recent years, though, is organized rings, at times criminal rings, setting up a system whereby tens, hundreds, thousands, tens of thousands of people can come to this country in an organized fashion and give birth here purely for the sake of obtaining birthright citizenship. This order takes a number of different actions intended to combat those sorts of organized practices. We look very heavily at denying visas to people that we have reason to believe are coming here for that purpose. Visas both for putative parents, but also for the people organizing these rings. There's also obviously a law enforcement component. We'll have a full fact sheet released on this soon, but what we're doing is taking legally validated means that are clearly within our disposal and targeting them square on to this birth tourism industry. There's absolutely nothing in here that runs afoul of any of the Supreme Court's opinions on the subject. This is, frankly, it's action that's overdue, and I'm thankful that President Trump is finally taking decisive action to combat this issue of birth tourism now that it's been queued up in the way that it has as a result of the Supreme Court's opinion.
This should have been done a long time ago. This should have happened years ago, but we're taking care of it now, please.
Thank you. Can you help us understand how you distinguish between a tourist and a birth tourist?
Well, I'll let you discuss it, please.
Yes, happy to. And so, by the way, that was an excellent presentation.
Thank you, Stephen.
For those of you who want to do your research on this, Section 215A of the Immigration and Nationality Act gives the president this authority. 215A of the Immigration and Nationality Act. Very rarely used, probably one of the strongest laws in the entire federal code, gives him this power. And that's not the only, but it's the main statutory authority that's being used in this order. So birth tourism is by definition a fraud on the American system, on the American taxpayer, on the American visa. If you're coming here, and again, your stated purpose is that you're a tourist, then by definition, you are here to come for a few weeks, look at what we have, engage in commerce, and leave. So if you're telling a consular officer you're here as a tourist, but your true purpose and intent is to go to a baby mill, give birth, and try to mint an American citizen while you're here, then you're committing a fraud against the American government. And by definition, that visa can and should and will be now denied.
Mr. President, there is a report that you told donors that they need to get J.D. Vance elected in 2028. Is that your official endorsement?
No. It's I heard about it a little while ago. I think he's great, but we're way too early to even be thinking about that. Okay?
And Mr. President, Republicans are arguing a lot right now about affordability. What is your message on affordability going into the midterms?
Well, that's a good question, but it's sort of simple to answer. I inherited the highest prices ever. I inherited the worst inflation in the history of our country. And we have done an amazing job. And oil prices now are coming down very rapidly. If you look at what's going on, it's down to 75. When I started the very important excursion into
Hey, what's
the
going on, Miss
Islamic
Ursula?
Republic of Iran, it was a very
Shout out
important
to you.
excursion because they can't have a nuclear weapon. Otherwise, the whole world would get blown up. We're not going to let that happen. Not only us, not only the Middle East, the whole world would have been catastrophic. We had no choice. We had oil down to less than $2 in many places like Iowa. Oil was down to, gasoline was down at numbers that people hadn't seen in years. $1.85, $1.95. So it passed Tuesday. I was in Iowa at a stop, and we had $1.95, another one, $1.85. a gallon.
But they gotta understand too. Trump gotta understand too. You starting wars with people, it's gonna bring the gas prices up. It's gonna bring food up. It's gonna bring a lot of stuff up. War costs money. He knows that war costs money, and I'm gonna say this: a lot of this stuff isn't gonna. A lot of this, a lot of this stuff it's gonna go up. It might stay up a little bit until this war ends. How's everything, Mr. Ursula? I hope everything is all as well.
And we'll see those days pretty soon again, based on everything I see, as soon as the war ends. And
Told you.
I think it's going to end pretty soon. I don't think.
Yeah, I'm gonna say this. They need to make a deal. I just feel like this. Israel need to mind their business. Iran needs to mind their business and stay in their lane, mind their business. You know, I'm not gonna say sign a treaty, but I think they should sign something so like this bullshit can stop. Because it is some bullshit that's actually popping off. It's popping off.
They can go much longer. Yeah, please.
Has a deal been reached to reopen the Strait of Hormuz?
Well, I don't want to say it has been. It's sort of open right now. We have a thing called the blockade headed up by the U.S. Navy, and we control it. And now we control it, but they can always shoot something. They always have something or drop a mine. And if you have one mine sitting out there, you sort of mess things up because people don't want to take their billion-dollar boats and accidentally get hit by a mine. But I think we're doing very well. I'm involved in the negotiation. I think we're doing fine. It could be soon, yeah.
Mr. President, have you lobbied any of the undecided Republicans who will vote tomorrow on Todd Blanche's nomination?
I will lobby if I need to. I will lobby very, very diligently because he's outstanding. He should be good. I mean, I can't imagine he's as good as there is in the country.
Facts.
Have such unbelievable respect for Todd Blanche. So hopefully that won't be necessary. I spoke to some people. I did, but hopefully it'll all work out very well for the country because you're not going to find better than Todd Blanche.
Will you reach out to Senator Murkowski, Senator Cassidy, for instance?
Let's see if we need anybody. I'll reach out to whoever I have to, but anybody voting against him would be doing a great disservice to the country, please.
Mr. President, the deadline for Representative Max Miller to withdraw from his race is coming up next week. Yeah. Do you believe he should withdraw this?
Well, I'm not going to get involved in that. It's a very sad situation. And I know Max very well. But it's very, very sad that a situation like that takes place. Yeah.
Do you think the DOJ should prosecute Dr. Fauci?
Well, they prosecuted Peter Navarro and they prosecuted Steve Bannon, two very decent people, over something that essentially was never prosecuted before. And there are sort of telltale signs of similarity. And they went to jail for a number of months over something that I saw one of the analysts said they used to laugh at it in the Justice Department when something like that was referred. But Merrick Garland prosecuted two very decent people and sent them to jail. I wasn't president. I would have given them a pardon in 2 seconds. But I wasn't. This was after I left. They waited till after I left, and then they prosecuted these two people, and they ought to be ashamed of themselves. So when you see that happen, you sort of say maybe he should. What he did is far more serious than a lot of crimes, frankly. But they prosecuted two people when nothing like that has ever taken place before.
Mr. President, on munitions, you posted overnight that the U.S. has a massive amount, and
right.
You denied.
They all paid. Yeah, they're all paid. The reason why. Once people start popping out of the woodwork, hold on a second. Yeah, once they start popping out the woodwork, yeah, somebody's paying them. A company's paying them to. to actually protest or whatnot. Like for example, you don't think like people come on these podcasts and these streams to disrupt. There's a reason why a lot of these Pan Africans, these socialists, these liberals are just coming up here just disrupting, trying to make a mockery out of Black Americans. And know what we do? We make content out of them. We make content out of them. You know, so to show our community, our Black American community, and people who rides out for us that this is what these people are doing. They want to erase the funding. Yeah, they've been Miss Ursula. They've been trying to do that since probably since the 70s. You know, the Democrats was using it. The Democrats wanted us to vote because we vote for them for majority because they were losing. It was a money move. It has always been a money move with the Democrats. It's just, you know what? The people who were talking for us, you know, knew that. We didn't know that. This is why we had the black gatekeepers and stuff like that. And a lot of these black gatekeepers are the spokesperson for the white supremacists or for other groups and stuff. And sometimes, for was it 6 out of 10 of the times, they're not even Black American, or they're sellouts. They'll sell us down the river. So yeah, you are right. No Black folks will vote for them. Yeah, it's a wrap now, Miss Ursula. It's coming to a point where, you know what, everything is transaction. Everything is transaction. And like, this is why I said last year, is within 5 years, Black Americans is going to have reparations. And the thing about it, America just proved that they can't do shit without Black Americans. That's all it's doing. It's just they're exposing themselves and showing that they can't do anything without Black Americans. This is why that delineation is so crazy. And you know what? We didn't start the delineation. We just agreed with it. We agreed with delineating from other people. So it's not like we did it. They wanted it. They're the ones who said that. They were the ones who brought it to light and say, yeah, you know what? They're not us. We are all different.
There were any shortages. There is a supplemental request for $21 billion to restock. So why is that request still there if there's
Well, because we need more all the time. I mean, we need more. Look, we gave tremendous amount to Ukraine. The Biden people did. And they were given free of charge. No charge. No charge. Billions, hundreds of billions of dollars. And fortunately, I built up so much during my term. I rebuilt the military and also loaded it up with a lot of stuff. And we have certain types of munitions that are very powerful, that we have virtual unlimited supply. We have others where it's a little bit tighter, and we're getting them in on a daily basis. As you know, our defense companies are building more plants right now than at any point in history. They're building plants for the Patriots, for the Tomahawks, for everything. But we have certain types of munitions, which are very, they may not be as accurate. They may not be, they're not as elite. We have elite too, but we're watching that very closely. But we have certain types which are very powerful and very good, and we have an unlimited supply, and so we're in great shape. But with that being said, we always want more. We have to have more. We have other things maybe come up. You maybe come up and maybe don't come up. Hopefully nothing else does come up. But we're in very good shape. We have literally massive amounts of ammunition. Yeah.
Mr. President, on Ukraine, President Zelensky says his country desperately needs long-range missiles or those Patriot missile batteries. Is that something that you're...
Well, I mean, we want missiles too. When Biden gave him so much, Biden gave $300 billion worth of ammunition. When I left, it was full, and he gave a lot of it away. Now we're rebuilding it, and we're using munitions that are very powerful, very good, but we wouldn't have been using them. We could have used something else. But these are a little bit older type, equally as effective. And it's things that we have so much. Plus, we have supplies of munitions all over the world that if we ever needed them, we'd take that. We're supplied all over the world, but we're in very, very good shape.
Russia seems to have increased their attacks on
I know,
civilian areas.
yeah, I know.
That must be of concern to you, Mr. President.
Well, look, we're not involved from the standpoint we're separated by an ocean, but I hate to see 25,000 young people a month get killed, and that's what's happening. Between Russia and Ukraine, they're losing on average 25,000, mostly soldiers, a month. And, we're working on it, and I think we're making progress, but it's a violent, very violent war. There's a lot of hatred in that war, a lot of hatred between the two leaders. I settled 8 wars. I thought this would be maybe one of the easier ones, and it turned out to be the most difficult. But progress is being made. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you. Thank you very much.
All right, as you see there, President Trump holding this impromptu Oval Office signing where we were able to hear from him as he's now signed new executive orders having to do.
Yeah, I think we have nobody cares. We have 2 nothing burgers parties. Yeah, that's true, Mr. Ursula. There is no 2 nothing burger party. You guys will get reparations, but it will cost us a lot. But Robin, you got to understand too. If Black Americans get reparations, the money's staying in America. The money's gonna stay in America. Very little people who's gonna leave this country to go spend their money elsewhere. A nigga might go on a vacation or 2, but people are staying in America to spend their money. That money ain't going nowhere, Robin. So you know what? That's a good thing. Don't forget, Black Americans spend 2 to 3 trillions of dollars of money. 2 to 3 trillions in power spending or some shit like that. Like, we're one of the biggest spenders in America, Black Americans. And that's saying a lot. That's why I always tell you, Robin, that when people be like, oh yeah, Black people don't got that many jobs, Black people are not that successful, we're the biggest spenders in America, one of the biggest, and we're only 13%. That's the thing. Yeah, that is why I agree with it. The money stays here. Yeah. Robin, where are we gonna go? We're not going to Mama Africa. Why would we leave something that Black Americans built? And Robin, like I said, 2-3 years ago, I didn't know Black Americans built all this shit. I was clueless, like how you clueless. Like, you're just finding, and when I say clueless, I mean like, you're finding out stuff that shit that was happening 200-300 years ago. I was like that 200-300 years ago. I found that out 2-3 years ago, Robin. And I'm so mesmerized about how much Black people created. So that's why I say that's why I say it's all right to like just figure out. So yeah. So the next thing we're gonna watch, it's called an ankle monitor. I am clueless. Every day I figure out new stuff. That's a good thing, Robin. Your life is never boring if you get to figure out new stuff every day, man. So the next thing we're gonna watch is that now they're saying that people who come into America, they might have to put on ankle bracelets and stuff, ankle monitors. So let's listen. Let's listen to King Flex now.
From what I understand, guys, didn't they say, hey, look, you can bounce? We guy who was in here talking about Demo Cosmo in the building. All right. The Haitian guy, Jada. What's up, Jada? How are you? All right, Haitian guy who was in here talking about FBA scammers, hop on in and say what's on your spirit, sir. Don't just say little stuff in the comment section. put your flip-flops on and stand on what you're trying to say, Mr. Haitian guy. All right. And speaking of Haitians, all right, since we have a Haitian cat in the room talking greasy, I invited him up. He wouldn't get up, but let's talk about Haitians right now. All right. It's Ivan Solomon. That's your name. Ivan, hop on in, Ivan, because I do want to talk about Haitians right now. There's a lot of stuff going on with you and your family that we can discuss right now, sir. You want to discuss it, or you just want to be in the comment section tricking off? Want to do that? Don't be scared. Listen, y'all heard what's going on with the Haitians, and they're making Haitians put on ankle monitors. Have y'all heard about that? Yo, Ivan, is that why you're upset, Ivan? Ivan the Haitian seems upset. I think a lot of them are very upset with us, family, because they're making Haitians put on ankle monitors in certain places. Did y'all know that? So you were just watching that on YouTube. Well, look, a lot of the Haitian immigrants that's been living under that temporary protective status or any other form of immigration supervision, some of them are being required by ICE to wear GPS monitors on their ankles after they report to routine immigration checkups. And this has drawn a lot of national attention because many of those affected, they weren't being detained. And according to some of the advocates, they've been complying with immigration requirements for years. Like in Springfield, Ohio, it's about over a dozen Haitian immigrants. They reported to a scheduled ICE DHS check-in, and they threw some ankle monitors on them. So instead of simply completing their appointments and leaving as usual, they said, hey, let me see that leg. Raise that flip-flop up and let me put some on you real quick. They put them ankle monitors on them. And they're using that as part of ICE's alternative to detention program. So they use GPS monitoring, they use smartphone check-ins, they're using other methods to track people while their immigration cases are proceeding in court. And they're trying to not put so many people in detention centers. Yeah. So a lot of people feel a certain way about this. This is criminalizing us. Now, some of the supporters of the policy say, well, this is less restrictive. It's less costly than detention. It ensures that people appear for immigration proceedings and they don't go try to run off and blend in somewhere or get a fake ID or whatever. It also says it allows individuals to kind of remain in their communities while their cases continue. And a lot of the people criticizing it, they're saying, well, the ankle monitors, that carries a social stigma because that's commonly associated with criminal supervision. They say that can affect employment, mental health, daily life. A lot of these immigrants are saying that they've been complying with immigration requirements, but they're still being subjected to increased surveillance without clear explanations. So a lot of people feel a certain way about this expanded electronic monitoring during these immigration proceedings. All right. And a lot of the vitriol is always at us. They've been hopping on social media, just like this guy earlier. He's in the chat, but he won't get up. They're mad at us because of this. This is them damn FBA. We got to wear ankle monitors. Them damn FBAs. I hate them guys. Here they go, just making spaces about us because they got to put on. Some of them got to put on ankle monitors. All right. And I think they offered money too, from what I understand, guys. Didn't they say, hey, look, you can bounce. We give you $2,600 to go on back to your homeland and go over there and kick it with barbecue and them dudes. Or you're going to have to put this ankle monitor on. So, yeah. They offered them $2,600 and a plane ticket to go back to the crib. They're like, oh, hell no. Let's go ahead and throw that monitor on.
How much money we spend on this stuff that's compliant? We would be getting on that point. Yeah, facts. But also too, Mr. Ursula, out of the defense of them, look what Black Americans created. We created America. Um, why white America couldn't do that by themselves? They couldn't do this by themselves. We can do this by ourselves. We don't forget, Black natives would have been living civilized for thousands of years. So this isn't nothing new to us. You know, we get yeah, ankle bracelets.
Listen, all the anger seems to be at us. All the anger seems to be levied at foundational Black Americans. A lot of this is, I think, is a lot of displaced aggression. They're getting a lot of intense pressure from a powerful entity, which is the federal government, ICE, and all that, and they feel powerless to retaliate directly against that. You understand? Because they ain't winning that. So they want to direct their frustration towards the native Black American population, to the foundationals. So that's like a psychological pressure release. You know, they feel safe trying to do that, and we ain't letting them do that. Yeah. Also, you know what this is, man? This is the collapse of that immigrant exceptionalism narrative that they love to try to flaunt. See, a lot of these foreign-born populations, they come over here and they internalize that concept of immigrant exceptionalism, that belief by virtue of you being an immigrant, you got work ethic and culture and all that, you're going to be treated differently by the dominant society than foundational Black Americans. And now, when the federal government, they're starting to put ankle monitors on that ass and removal orders.
I would say this about the ankle bracelets. The ankle bracelets, it's a good idea, but how many times you think they're gonna cut them things off? And I think those should be a TPS thing, just so you can know what's going on. It'll be important. Will they try to maneuver it off? Yes. That's the only thing. But like I say, they'll get hip to it. So
Your buffer status, that collapses. And the realization that the dominant society view you through a lens of a restrictive racial outgroup. Now the resentment turns towards foundational Black Americans because we delineated. Yeah, it's heavy. It's very heavy. And excuse me, because we as foundational Black Americans, we're asserting a distinct lineage identity, and that establishes very explicit social, cultural, and political boundaries. And, honestly, historically, many of these non-FBA groups, man, they've relied on us engaging in a broad monolithic definition of Blackness so they can just kind of blend in to the existing social fabric and access resources or representation when they need to, and then distance themselves when they need to. We've drawn very clear lines around lineage and heritage. So that just kind of removed that unrestricted access to foundational Black American social capital. So a lot of the hostility is a reaction to us enforcing those boundaries that they've never had us enforce on them.
facts. I agree with that one right there. What you said about them aligning themselves with them. Yes, you are right. Um, if they did, we wouldn't have to do this. What we're doing now. They, they gotta blame themselves for this. They gotta blame themselves for this fuckery. So they can't get mad at Black Americans.
You see, it's deep. And another thing, man, people, they had an entitlement with foundational Black Americans. This is where a lot of this nonsense is coming from. A lot of this resentment. There's an entitlement to an automatic political shield. See, there's been a long unwritten expectation that foundational Black Americans, we would just be the unconditional, automatic sanctuary and advocacy network for all Black populations globally. So as foundational Black Americans, we start shifting our political energy specifically on lineage-based claims, reparations for us, domestic priorities. A lot of these other groups, they start to feel abandoned now. You see? And that shattered expectation, that transforms into anger. You see? And now people just can't mimic us no more. You see, under severe societal pressure, a lot of marginalized and targeted groups, they often attempt to try to signal alignment with the dominant culture by adopting the existing prejudice. These people like to repeat these.
King Flex hit it on a he hit that shit on the head, because King Flex is right about that. They can't cosplay us anymore. It's coming to a point where, you know what, they're gonna have to be prideful of their culture. You know, a lot of these people are not prideful of their culture. This is why if they don't, if they don't cosplay of being us, they'll go to the white supremacists. They'll date the white man just so they can. And I'm gonna say this: a lot of Black men used to do that same bullshit until they found out that shit doesn't work. You dating a white man just out of the strength because you think it upgrades your status. It doesn't. You know, they're still gonna see you as what they see you. You know, and I think a lot of them is gonna have to get over that. Where, you know what, you're by yourself. You know, first of all, the people who were here burnt the bridges, or if you want to align yourself with Black Americans, you gotta fall in line. Now the question is, are you gonna fall in line when it comes to Black Americans?
Anti-FBA tropes and disparage foundational Black Americans online, and they go out of their way to distance themselves from us. They thought that that was going to grant them some kind of favor with the dominant white T society, and it did not. And we told you it wouldn't. Let's be very clear. We were the ones telling you, hey, man, all that, the white man likes you
Facts,
better.
you are right.
Hey,
Also,
man,
it's
we kept
billions of
trying to
those.
tell you that ain't it. We were telling you that's not how they really feel about you. Right. Trone. Y'all delineated from us first, remember?
I said that.
All right? Y'all delineated from us. Y'all really delineated from us. Y'all delineated from us. Y'all were running around with the not like them strategy. Now, hold on. We got Quiz in here. Mr. Quiz, let's talk to Quiz for a minute. Let's talk to Mr. Quiz if he can get his phone together. What's up, Mr. Quiz?
What's going on, brother?
What's happening, Mr. Quiz? Now, what'd you say in the chat room?
I said you're misleading the people, brother.
How so,
You're
sir?
not right. And the ancestors are going to deal with you.
The ancestors are blessing
really
me,
going to
sir.
deal with you.
How am I misleading
They're not
you?
blessing you. They're not blessing you. That's why you're hiding on TikTok.
Hiding?
They're not blessing. Yeah, that's why you're hiding on TikTok.
From who?
You know who you hiding from.
You tell me. I don't. Who am I? Who? Who, sir? You're not muted. Who am I hiding from?
The ancestors are on your ass.
Okay, that's fine. You're gonna repeat this.
He's trolling. You can tell the guy's trolling. I always have an issue with people like that who trolls, because it's not a good look. The reason why I say it's not a good look, because it shows that a lot of the tethers or immigrants can't tethers or people who are misinformed. When I say tethers, and it's people who sells out Black Americans, who undermines Black Americans. It's not somebody who's from a different country. So whoever says that on this show, we're gonna have to get you the fuck out of here, because you know that's not the right one. But yeah, it's people who undermines Black Americans and all the things, all the achievements, and all the things that got them over here in this country.
Same thing.
People,
who am I
brother.
hiding from, sir? No,
you
you
are
said I'm
smarter
hiding.
than that.
Who am I hiding
smarter
from?
than that, brother. but you out here misleading the people.
How? You're not going to say the same thing. I've let you say the same
Because
thing
you know
over and
what
over.
I'm talking about.
I have
but
no
that's
idea what you're talking about.
Because
Who
you
am I
brought
hiding
me
from?
up. That's why you misleading the people.
How?
You know you are, brother.
How?
What have you built for the people?
More than
You
you?
built a TikTok page
More
to
than
sit here
you?
and spread hate about your brothers and sisters from the continent, your
Hate
brothers and
where?
sisters from below. All you
Hate
doing is
where?
spreading hate, brother.
Hate how?
What are you talking about right now? All you talking about is
You
hate.
just saying stuff, sir.
No,
You
I'm
can't.
telling you.
You
I'm
know
telling
you
you
just
what you're
saying shit
doing.
because you can't
And
elaborate
you know
on
what
it.
you're doing.
Why
know
can't
what
you
you're doing.
elaborate on what you're saying? You just saying
Like
stuff
I
out of
said, you're
frustration.
spreading hate. All
To
you're
who?
doing is sitting here talking about sending some folks home that ain't even affecting you. They're not
I ain't
affecting
sending them
you.
home. The government is.
They're not even affecting you. And you sitting there, got all these folks in the comments sitting
Why do
here
y'all blame
cheering
us?
you on.
The government.
Cheering you on.
No. You don't talk over me, punk. We ain't sending them. The government is sending them. Why don't y'all tethers have that vitriol for the government? Huh? How come you ain't stomping for your fellow immigrants, sir?
There you go with the insults. All I'm saying,
asking
brother,
you a question, sir. How come?
The man just King Flex is just asking him that he said he was a misinformed. Yeah, that's the crazy thing, and this is the thing. He's blaming King Flex for what the government's doing. King Flex has no control over the government. He knows that, but he's just there to give Black Americans a hard time. And like I said, this is why I said what I said. I said, "Yo, immigrants is gonna have to like fight. They're fighting for the wrong thing. They're fighting to stay in this country. They should be fighting for equal laws, if anything. And what I mean by equal laws of being a citizen. You know, don't fight just to stay in this country illegally. No, try to fight. If I was an immigrant, I would be trying to fight to have better laws so the next 20, 50 years we don't have this problem or this same bullshit don't come back up. I already know what I have to do. You made the laws fair so I can stay in this country. So I think that that's perfect. You know, but a lot of these people don't want a lot of these people they want special treatments. You can tell that these people like want special treatments. You know, they give you all the excuses in the world talking about, oh, well, you know, I come from a war impoverished country and stuff like, okay, you come from a war impoverished country. I get it. But sometimes you're going to have to fight to make your country better or follow the laws in this country. Follow the laws in this country. But they take no responsibility for what they do. Facts. You're right. You're right, Miss Ursula. And this is what King Flex is trying to explain to them. So you're right.
How come you ain't going? How come
you
How come you ain't stomping for your fellow immigrants, sir?
There you go with the insults. All I'm saying,
asking you
brother,
a question, sir.
is
How
the
come you ain't going?
incestors
How
are
come you
on
ain't
your
putting
ass
boots
right
on the
now.
ground? How come you ain't doing nothing to help your fellow immigrants? Huh?
Why
I don't own an ice van.
Me, brother?
You're not muted. You're not
just
muted.
Me, or your moms are muting me.
I ain't
Somebody's
touched the
muting.
mute button, sir.
What one of your moms is then?
Sir, why are you not helping your fellow immigrants?
Oh, I'm helping them.
How?
Oh, I'm helping them.
How?
I'm helping them. How? By speaking the truth and coming here to dismantle you.
Okay, dismantle me. Dismantle me how?
We shutting you down, brother.
How?
We shutting you down.
I'm still here. Is it working?
Now. Right now.
You don't have the clout, sir.
Right now.
You don't have the clout, sir.
Okay. All right.
Sir, you can't. What you're trying to do is fight a spiritual battle. I have a spiritual energy that you're trying to fight. You can't fight my spiritual energy because that's what's whooping your ass. I'm not rounding nobody up. It's the spiritual energy that I have that's whooping your ass, and it's coming from my ancestors, not yours. You fled from where your ancestors were. That's why you're not being blessed by them, sir, right? Okay, he left. Yeah.
That's the best thing to do, man.
Dude, Don't you project? Tethers love to do this weird projecting. Yeah, he left. I didn't get him out, nor did I mute him. I didn't mute him. I didn't get him out of here. Dude, these people are so upset with us. I haven't done nothing to you. Listen, y'all were the ones delineating, fool. Y'all spent years delineating from us, telling people you ain't us.
I'll be right back, everybody.
Thinking that you were going to get some kind of upward mobility by distancing yourselves from us. You guys were going on podcast, social media with anti-FBA talking points for years. Y'all were running around here talking about we don't have no culture. We're lazy. We're ghetto baby mamas. We're dirty black Americans. Remember? For years, y'all were doing that. Y'all went out of your way to let people know you were different from us, thinking that you were going to get that buffer pass. Now that the dominant society is putting belt to ass on you, throwing ankle monitors on that ass, revoking your status, your illusion of immigration exceptionalism has collapsed, and now you're panicking because that proximity that you distance yourself from, you ain't getting back into the circle. Now you want to slither back to the people who you said didn't have a culture, were lazy and dirty. You mad because you can't slither back under us like that. No, you want to do an opportunistic pivot to the now we all black. Now that you're in the crosshairs, the same folks who were trying to shame us all the time, y'all want some kind of reverse delineation. When things were comfortable, y'all were running around with your damn flags all over the place. All right? You made sure you let everybody know you were not us. Now them ankle monitors are on that ass. Now you want to hide under the umbrella of monolithic blackness now. Now you want to try to weaponize Pan-Africanism as a guilt trip. No, thank you. Your fault that we gonna get you. You ain't gonna do shit. We gonna bring you down. We is gonna get you. You shut the hell up. Don't you project. You hiding. Hiding from who? Dude, I'm outside. I'm all over the damn world. Hiding from who? I'm literally all over the world. This year, man, this year alone, I've been to 4 continents, several states. I was down in Atlanta a couple of months ago, down in Alabama with my home folks, Tulsa, Oklahoma. Weren't we in Houston earlier? We're in Houston. We were down in Mexico in January, Turkey, I think February, Africa. I was over in Senegal earlier this year. I just left Japan. Hiding from who? I'm all over the place. I'm everywhere. I'm outside. I ain't ducking and dodging from the ice truck, sir. Yeah, New York City, right? Yeah, I forgot. I was in New York. Yeah. I've been everywhere, all up in the damn streets. Don't you project onto me. I'm everywhere. I've been touching grass, snow, trees, the whole shebang. Yeah, you're hiding, sir, from ICE. You're the one hiding with that ankle monitor on. I bet he has an ankle monitor on. Let's stop playing. They always try to project that stuff on us, and that's what the anger is about. Family, folks are so resentful that we're not being targeted. Do y'all understand that? Folks got this thing, if they get targeted, we supposed to be targeted with them. And the fact that foundational black Americans are safe, we're not getting deported nowhere, we're not getting rounded up. People are so damn resentful. How come you're not suffering with us? We're all in this together. Y'all want to be together when the crosshairs are on your ass. No.
Facts, it's true.
Hell no. But when you win it, shout out to immigrants, shout out to Puerto Rico, shout out to Latinos, shout out to Asians. Fuck out of here. When y'all winning, boy, y'all don't want nobody to share that win. Boy, when y'all winning, y'all elbow everybody out the way. Oh, move, nigga. This is a win for Caribbeans. Bo, 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 bo. But you get on ankle monitors. Hey, we're all black now. Everybody, if the white man pull me over, he ain't gonna act in you FBA if you ain't. Shut the fuck up. They ain't doing that no more. Those days are over. Those days are over. Hold your own nuts.
Thanks.
Y'all want us to suffer with you. Handle your business. Handle your damn business. No. Y'all that old picking and choosing when y'all want to be down. No. All right, we didn't decided for you. Stand your ass over there and handle your business. We made the decision for you. All that old flip-flopping ass shit y'all been doing.
That's it. I'm gonna say
these old fair weather.
He's right. He's right. Like a lot of these immigrants can't be mad about that. You know, they haven't been playing team ball. Like I said, a lot of this stuff is transactional. You know, so we can't get mad about that. You know, now it's now Black Americans has the power of saying like, "Yo, we're not fucking with you." You know, so y'all have to. And the thing about it, y'all try to turn to the white liberals, and these like y'all got these white liberals shot and killed out here. I gotta be honest about that. Y'all got these people shot and killed.
Go and stay on over there with what you got.
Let's go on to the next one. No, we ain't gonna do that one. We're gonna do. Yeah. I do want to do this one right here, and I'm gonna do this.
A battle to limit birthright citizenship to children of U.S. citizens or permanent residents.
Today, we will hear from Americans discussing the latest Supreme
Court for, and that's why you hear these foreigners. Oh, they just baby mamas, baby daddies. They're just gang bangers. They're just drug dealers. Because those benefits and things that those people could have got that could have detoured them from being those things were taken by people that didn't deserve it. This is so-called Black Americans' birthright. This is their birthright. This shows you that Trump is on the side of the Black American, and you see where the real racist is, instead of everybody want to point the finger at Trump saying that he's a racist. You see who the real racists are. They know the truth. Everybody knows the truth, and they know who we are.
No, he's racist. Don't get me wrong. He's racist. It's just he's bucking at other people. That shit ain't got nothing to do with us. That's the thing. So Trump is racist. Don't get me wrong. I don't even think, like I said, I don't even think he likes poor white people. So yeah.
They know what was done. They know why the 14th Amendment was written. It was only written to give Black people the same rights that white people had. It wasn't even no foreigners. Because they're saying it happened over 128 years ago, they're going to keep it. It happened 128 years ago because of what was done to us and how we fought to fix that. Our ancestors fought to fix it. They didn't fight to fix it for everybody else. This was done for us. Continue to push those documents for the class action lawsuit, because it's bigger than the class action lawsuit. It's way bigger than the class action. It's not just about money. It's about land. It's about truth. It's about what happened to us and who we are. It's about identity. It's about everything. They reclassify American Indians to Negro, color, and Black. Those Negro, color, and Black people are our great-grandfathers, great-grandmothers. And those great-grandfathers and great-grandmothers, their parents were the people of the owners of this land. This birthright citizenship being struck down is deeper than this.
The Supreme Court just ruled against President Trump, just like he predicted they would. If you are born in the U.S., you are a U.S. citizen, and it doesn't matter what the president says or signs or does. That is the breaking news ruling coming down from the Supreme Court. Now, there is still a way, though, to end birthright citizenship, and I'm going to walk you through that in a second. But first, let's talk about the ruling. Well, the 14th Amendment of the U.S. Constitution guarantees birthright citizenship. If you're born in the United States, you are a citizen of the United States, except for very few rare exceptions. The law of the land says if you're born on U.S. land, you have U.S. citizenship. And it doesn't matter if your parents are not citizens, if they're here illegally, if they're here temporarily. Babies born here are citizens here. And that's not me, that's the justices. And they're not the only ones. The Supreme Court ruled the exact same way when birthright citizenship and the 14th Amendment were challenged back in the 1800s. And Congress has passed not one, but two separate laws saying basically the same thing. Now, remember how the president was the first sitting president ever to sit in the courthouse while this case was being argued before the court? Well, his team had argued both the spirit of the law and the letter of the law. They said, yes, the written words of the 14th Amendment say all persons born or naturalized in the United States and subject to the jurisdiction thereof are citizens of the United States. But they said those 5 words, subject to the jurisdiction thereof, was the sticking point. They said it meant anyone here illegally or not permanently has allegiance to the place where they do have citizenship, so they're not under the jurisdiction of the United States, making the 14th Amendment irrelevant. But that seemed to focus more, though, the justices thought, on the parent, not the baby who was born in the U.S. Now, Trump's team also argued the spirit of the law, what it means, saying it's different than what it actually says. They argued it was written specifically to address Black people who were freed from slavery and their children who had been considered property. And because they were now legally understood to be people, they were given citizenship to clear up that weird gray area. Now, Trump's team argued that now the 14th Amendment is being abused by people who come to the U.S. with the intent of giving birth here so the baby would get birthright citizenship. Chief Justice Roberts basically said, okay, so what? Well, it doesn't mean that he likes it or that he's okay with it, but you have to remember that the job of the Supreme Court is to interpret the law, interpret the Constitution. And the ruling basically says the U.S. Constitution guarantees birthright citizenship. That's it, and that's it. But remember I said there is still a way to end birthright citizenship? You can repeal a constitutional amendment with another amendment, but it's only happened once in 1933, where the 21st Amendment repealed the 18th Amendment for prohibition. But that is a tall order. It needs a 2/3 vote in the House and in the Senate, and then it needs 38 states to approve it.
A whole lot of people thought that birthright citizenship was going to fail, okay? However, it did not fail. Okay, so if you are born in the United States of America, you are a birthright citizen. That is the ruling of the Supreme Court. And that is what so many Black American forefathers fought for way back in the day, okay? Because back in the day, they were trying to base it on race and race alone. However, it's not based on race alone. It's about the fact you're born here, okay? And contrary to what many people believe, Black Americans and white American abolitionists and politicians who were on the right side of history decided that early on, they were like, no, we're going to fight for birthright citizenship instead of it being based on race. Because if, in fact, they were to base it on race, they would have only let white folk be citizens, to be quite honest. They would have based it all on race. But now that I mentioned birthright citizenship and how the Supreme Court just upheld birthright citizenship and how this has been a long ongoing fight to get it way back in the day for Black Americans and white Americans who stood on the side of birthright citizenship, I want to talk about that because I ran into a comment. People didn't understand how Black Americans actually co-founded the United States of America, and this was one of the challenges that Black Americans actually took part in. There is absolutely nothing. Let me say this: there's absolutely nothing that took place in the United States of America good that Black Americans did not participate in. I'm gonna say this: the movie Roots has y'all screwed up. Okay. The movie Roots has y'all screwed up. The Black Americans were doing more than just what you saw on Roots. Okay. If you care to even read the book I wrote on it, okay, Black Americans did everything in the United States of America the same way as white Americans did, okay? There's no white people can do this, white people, Black people couldn't do this. No. As far as skill set, as far as surveying, as far as architects, engineers, Black Americans did the same exact thing as white Americans. And Black America actually did it more because we were enslaved. Okay, we did it more. So the founding of the United States of America was not just white folk. I just want to get that out. I just want to get that out there. It was not just white folk. It was Black Americans. There's nothing, when I tell you, I want y'all to understand this. Enslaved does not mean just be working in the fields. We did everything. Everything. We did more, actually. We did everything. That's exactly why Black America can hold this nation together, because we know what to do. We know what to do. Okay? Black America.
I just said that, and see, that's why I say what Black Americans just did, they exposed America's weakness. First of all, they're not resilient. Second of all, they're not inclusive with each other. Third of all, they have no plan. Black Americans. This is what's so dope about Black Americans. We don't even need what's the word? We don't even need a plan to succeed. You know? Like, we don't need a plan to succeed because we already know what to do. We already know what we're fighting for. You know, a lot of if you ever look at a lot of these white supremacists, technically they don't even know what they're fighting for. You know, they're talking about, oh yeah, we're being discriminated against. The reason why they feel like they're being discriminated because they're being held accountable for their fuckeries. They're not getting the special treatment anymore. You know, this is why I always said most white supremacists' fear is a Black person's success or happiness. It has always been that. They always want Black Americans scared. It always had been like that for fucking generations.
Did just as much and more for the founding of this nation in white America. So even when it comes down to birthright citizenship, it was Black Americans who freaking created that bad boy. Straight up. And I'm going to prove it to you right now, okay? If it were not for Black Americans, there would be no birthright citizenship. If it were not for Black Americans, there would be no birthright citizenship. That's facts. That's facts. All of what is going on in the United States of America is because Black Americans fought for it and made this country, our country, live up to what it's supposed to be. When you want to talk about the rulers of the good in America, you're talking about Black America.
Praise Jesus. Beautiful news on a Tuesday. Did I not say that Jesus has the final say? The Supreme Court has now blocked Trump's birthright citizenship executive order, and that means children born here in the United States are still protected under the birthright citizenship. This is a major victory because the Trump administration was trying to limit citizenship for babies born in the United States if their parents were undocumented or only had temporary status. But the Supreme Court said no. So what does this mean for the Trump administration? It means that they cannot enforce this executive order as written, and this is a major legal defeat for their immigration agenda. Now, does this mean they are completely done trying to challenge birthright citizenship? Not necessarily. This administration could still try other legal or political ways to push this issue. But for right now, birthright citizenship stands. So today we thank Jesus for this victory. We thank him for protecting families. And we remember that no matter what any administration tries to do, Jesus still has the final say. Like and share this video to spread this beautiful, great news. And call the law offices of Stephanie I'm going today for any of your U.S. immigration needs.
The Supreme Court just upheld birthright citizenship, so let's talk about it. Now, first, we knew this opinion was coming either yesterday or today, as this is the last, I think, final day of cases for the Supreme Court, so here we are. The New York Times just did an article on this, and I think SCOTUSblog.com is where I've gotten some information too, but more information is on the way as this just came out. SCOTUSblog.com already has a syllabus and already has the verdict here, where it basically says that children born in the U.S. to folks that are here temporarily, what the colonizers say as unlawfully, and so forth, are still going to be considered residents and citizens of this colonial empire. upon birth. I know there are a lot of colonizers in my comment section yesterday asking me to say the entire, meaning of the 14th Amendment. If you want to go into who should really have birthright citizenship and who shouldn't, based on who is colonizing and occupying this land and who benefits from it, we can get into that, especially because I'm not only Black, but Indigenous. So you want to go there, we can. But I'm being nice and having pleasantries and saying things the way that I am going to say them, with love, respect, and humanity, and a decolonial lens. No borders, no walls, all day. Pause to read and screenshot for yourself. Now let's get into who voted what way, who gave an opinion what way. And as I said in my previous video, Trump tried to do this on his second day in office this second term around, and basically tried to tell people that children no longer born in the U.S. would automatically have birthright citizenship. So this is the Supreme Court giving an opinion and saying you cannot do that, which is great because it's also a check on his presidential power and making sure that he doesn't have too much and that no one further has too much. Looks like this was a 6-3 situation with Kavanaugh kind of doing a bit of dissenting as well. So we have the 3 conservative justices, Justice Clarence Thomas. And Clarence Thomas, what the fuck were you doing at the Capitol yesterday? Then we have Justice Neil M. Gorsuch and Justice Alito, who dissented.
Birthright citizenship. The Supreme Court is rejecting Trump's executive order limiting birthright citizenship. Let me repeat that again. The U.S. Supreme Court has rejected President Trump's attempt to enforce his executive order ending automatic birthright citizenship for many children born in the United States, leaving the longstanding constitutional interpretation in place for now. So what exactly did the court decide? So the court actually declined to allow Trump's executive order to take effect. The order would have denied automatic U.S. citizenship to children born in the United States if their parents were, 1, in the country illegally or in the U.S. temporarily on visas. So as a result, birthright citizenship remains the law, and children born in the United States continue to receive citizenship under the existing interpretation of the Constitution. So let's talk about why this is important. The case centers on the 14th Amendment of the Constitution, which was ratified in 1868, which states all persons born or naturalized in the United States and subject to the jurisdiction thereof are citizens of the United States. Now, for more than a century, folks, this language has generally been interpreted to mean that nearly everyone born on U.S. soil is automatically a U.S. citizen, right? With limited exceptions, such as children of foreign diplomats. That understanding was affirmed by the Supreme Court in the landmark 1898 case, United States versus Wong Kim Ark, which we talked about yesterday. So let's talk about Trump's argument really quick. The Trump administration argued that the phrase subject to the jurisdiction thereof does not apply to children whose parents are undocumented immigrants or temporarily present in the United States. The administration actually has maintained that birthright citizenship should be limited to children whose parents have a stronger legal connection to the United States, such as U.S. citizens or lawful permanent residents. And why did opponents challenge this order? So opponents are arguing that the Constitution clearly protects birthright citizenship. Presidents cannot change the meaning of the 14th Amendment through an executive order. And only a constitutional amendment or a change in Supreme Court precedent could fundamentally alter that right. Now, they've also warned that ending birthright citizenship could leave many children born in the United States without citizenship or create complex legal questions about their status. So what does that mean today, folks? For now, birthright citizenship remains in effect. Babies born in the United States continue to receive U.S. citizenship under current law. And Trump's executive order can't be enforced at this time. The ruling preserves the long-standing interpretation of the citizenship clause while leaving broader debates over immigration and constitutional interpretation which is likely to continue with this current administration's. And let's talk about why we as Americans should care. This is one of the most significant immigration and constitutional rulings in decades because it literally affects who becomes an American citizen at birth, how much authority a president has to change immigration policy through executive action, and how the 14th Amendment will be interpreted in the future. So legal experts estimate that a different outcome could have affected hundreds of thousands of children born in the United States each year. So listen, folks, I'm just going to put it out here for real, for real, for real. Keep paying attention. And I'm going to continue to give you this news and information so that you can do something with it. You can share it with people. Let other people know that we're here. Go ahead and like, comment, subscribe, do the things that you need to know because we're starting to get ramped up here and we're going to be providing you more information because honestly, I don't think we've seen the end of this because of course you're going to appeal it. Of course, you're going to try it again. Of course, you're going to do other slick, sneaky ways to go around things to impact hundreds of thousands of people's lives like you did with the temporary protective status that just happened.
Yeah, this is getting serious. And I'm going to say this. I do believe that black, not even black Americans, but I do believe that this is going to get worse before it gets better. You know, and the reason why, like I said, when a lot of these immigrants came in the 60s, the 50s and the 60s, technically the 60s and the 70s, they try to align with themselves with the majority and not understand that the majority hasn't had real power because they have always been divided. You know, they have always been divided. And black Americans has always been together. Did we have, people? I'm gonna say this: most black people, black Americans, we always lean one side. There's not always, half and half. We have never been that way. Collectively, we always lean to one side. Unlike, white America, they always lean to the left, some lean to the right, so it's always half and half. This is why they always needed black Americans to figure out which side to go to. And this is why the Democrats have been winning for the last, 60 years.
The recent Supreme Court decision has sparked another major debate over immigration, citizenship, and what the future of America looks like. Many foundational Black Americans have been paying close attention because immigration policy has become tied to larger conversations about economics, political representation, and whether the descendants of American slavery will ever receive policies specifically addressing their historical injustices. For many foundational Black Americans, this issue is not simply about immigration. It is about priorities. Many argue that for decades...
He makes a great point right there. He said, immigration isn't about... it's more of about priority. It's not about statement. A lot of immigrants need to understand that Black Americans is about priorities, handling their own priorities, because we can't worry about your priorities while we have our own. So it makes sense.
Yo, Black Joker, what's happening, man?
All right, what's going on, Tariq?
What's going on, Black Joker?
I just had a question, fam. When you gonna put out the FBA documentary?
I don't have a FBA documentary. I don't have one.
Why don't you? Aren't you guys so, y'all so great? Why don't you put out a documentary?
Why should we? There's a bunch of documentaries about our history anyway. Most Black history documentaries are about foundational Black Americans, right?
Yeah, but your people don't know how to even tell the story right. They tell the story on some bullshit. So what is the story? Because your FBAs don't even know the story.
What's the story? What story are you talking about? Because
I'm talking about the story about the lineage of how y'all was here before everything started. You taught the FBAs. You could put up 4 or 5 FBAs up right now and ask them the story. They gonna give you 5 different stories. Why is that?
Because it's not a group, sir. It's a lineage.
Yeah, but why do Some of y'all don't make sense when y'all tell the story. Some people acknowledge
It's not
Africa.
making
Some
sense
people
to you
don't
because you
acknowledge.
want to. It's not making sense to you, sir, because you
No,
want
it
us to
don't
be a
make sense
group.
to anybody with a brain, sir.
It doesn't make
You
sense
got
to
a
you
brain,
because
and you
you
see,
want
you
to.
see how you pimping them, Tariq. Why you doing that?
Well, I'm pimping you because you sound like a bitch, but you're not going to talk over me.
Listen,
You're
that way
not
you
going to
go to
talk
roast.
over me.
When you ain't got nothing to say, you go to roast.
Yeah, I mean, you sounded like a bitch, though. I mean, that's not even a roast. You sound like a genuine bitch. So you need to calm
You
down.
married to a white girl.
Yeah, you lying like a
Yeah.
bitch. I'm not offended by you lying. Is that supposed to be offensive?
Nah, I don't need to lie, fam. What?
Yeah,
Your girl,
is
your
you
wife, daddy
lying?
not white.
If you
Your wife,
lying,
daddy not white.
if you lying about being, you lying supposed to be offensive?
Your wife, daddy not white. Answer the question.
No, punk.
Stop lying.
No, her daddy
Stop
ain't
lying.
white.
So what her
Yeah.
parents? What her parents
Yeah,
come from?
why you and a punk talking about a
Where her
woman?
parents come from?
Yeah, a punk talking about a woman. You still a tether punk? All right. What man sits up talking about somebody's wife and then
Listen, bro.
lying? What
No,
man?
listen.
What
That
heterosexual?
rainbow culture is
man
FBA culture,
lies
fam.
about a man's wife? You sitting there? You sitting up?
Africans
Don't
don't
change
do
the
that.
subject, punk. You up here
Africans
lying
don't do
about a
rainbows.
man's wife.
Africans don't do
You
rainbows.
up here lying about a
Africans
man's
don't do
wife, sir.
rainbows.
You a certified punk. Yeah, sir. This delineation is flipping you.
Your whole culture
This
is
this delineation
your
is
whole
flipping
culture.
you. You just you're not going
Delineate.
to
We
battle.
don't care.
Yes,
We
sir.
really
You
don't.
do care. Your
No,
family
we
fled
don't.
over here.
Stop telling people that
Your
we care.
family fled over here
Nobody
for a
cares.
reason, sir. You do care. You up here lying about
No,
my
we
wife
don't.
like a punk. You do
Your
care
wife,
because you frustrated
your
because you
wife's
can't do
daddy is
anything
white.
about it.
Your wife's
No,
daddy
he's
is
not.
white.
I'm not.
All that
Nobody's
admixture.
nobody's
All
offended
that
about.
admixture.
No,
Why
no,
don't you
he's not. No, he's
Why don't you
not.
get a Mississippi
No,
woman?
he's not. Why are you lying about
Why
a
didn't you
woman,
get an
sir?
FBA wife?
Why? Because she
Huh?
is
'Cause what?
FBA. She
She
is
ain't FBA. Her
FBA.
daddy white.
No, he's
Her daddy.
not. Y'all
Her daddy
can't.
white.
No, okay, prove it.
We know it.
Prove it.
Nigga, you done said it online.
Prove it.
I ain't finna find the clip on YouTube.
All right,
You already
so stop
admitted
lying
your
stop lying
girlfriend
like a
daddy is
woman.
white.
Stop lying like a woman.
Nah, fam.
You just saying stuff.
You said it with your own
Why
words.
you lying
when
on
you
a
was
woman?
debating Myron.
Why are you lying on a woman?
Yeah, when you was debating Myron, you said that.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did.
Now you lying on me?
I don't need to lie on you. The clip is on YouTube. Look up
No,
the
it
debate with
ain't.
Tariq, Nasheed,
No, it
and
ain't.
Sneeko. Stop muting when
You're
I'm
not
giving
gonna
information.
because you're sitting here lying like a sassy punk, sir.
Yeah, go watch it. Go watch it.
What's
Go
with you
watch it and tell
tethers?
me if
What's with you tethers constantly lying all the time, sir? Do you think
That's what
lying
you
is going
lying
to
all the
change
time and pimping your
delineation?
You
Do you
steady
think
pimping your
lying?
people.
Well, I'm pimping you because you're my bitch, and I got you lying like a bitch.
Pimp me.
You
couldn't pimp me.
I am pimping you, sir. Listen
Nah.
to you. You sound like a hoe.
You pimping FBA.
No, you're my bitch. Listen to you. I
You
got you
sound like a-
emotional. You're
Look at how
emotional.
you talk. Look at your
You're
vernacular.
all emotional. You're
me,
emotional,
bitch.
sir. You're emotional. You're lying about women. Only punks
you
lie
are
about women.
emotional. You just need
Heterosexual
a-
men don't lie about women, sir. Did you know that? Only a punk does that. Heterosexual
You
men.
got
This is what I'm the reason why I'm showing this video. I'm only showing probably 1/3 of this video is because this is how mad a lot of these people are, because this is what I don't get. When people have situation, everybody turns to their community. You know, this is what a community based family does. You know, this is what a community does. Whenever there's a situation, the community comes together and they figure it out. You know, but I think that's only in Black American community. I remember when this lady was losing her apartment in our in my projects. And we just came together. We had a little cookout. We sold food and stuff like that. We raised money so she could stay in that apartment for like at least 3 months. You know, we don't see that anymore because, well, it's because most of us ain't all Black Americans. We all live with others, or we live around other amongst other Black Americans. But whenever other people do need help, we come together and we put the money together. We help the bill, whatnot. You know, even with people who go to jail and stuff like that, we put money together so we can bail the other person out if we feel like they're innocent. So yeah, this is different. This is different to us. We're not used to people like their own people turning on each other and stuff like that. They're so used of us help. Black Americans always help. Because we're always giving people. We have always been giving people. You know, it's just different from them because we're not putting in the work for them no more. They got to put in the work themselves, and they don't know what to do. Oh, we don't help each other. No, we do the same. That's rare, Robin. Maybe in the Irish community, but in the white American community, no. I don't really see that in the white community like that. Probably in the 50s and the 60s, yes. I do agree with you in the 50s and the 60s, but now, no. I don't see that. Um, I'm gonna say this, Robin. Your community, the white American community, is more divided than ever now. So I have to say that y'all are more divided than ever.
You guys
Don't
are
sit
the
up lying
Rainbow
about no
Nation. You guys
women.
are leaders of the
Sir, you are a
leaders.
failed
Africa
tethered
don't
punk.
have that. Haiti don't.
Sir, why are you not in
Jamaica don't
Africa?
have that.
Why are you not in Africa? Why are you not in Africa, punk? Huh?
Cause I'm over here taking resources from America.
No, you ain't taking nothing, sir. We save you. You are a
You
failed
could
punk
say
tether. We
couldn't even
saved
save
you, and
your own
you're jealous.
ass.
You couldn't do it in your
You
homeland,
couldn't
sir.
save
You're
your
a
own ass.
failure.
You
You're
met the
mad
right
because you're a
nigga today.
failure and you had to come flee the
Met the right
foundation of
nigga
Black
today.
Americans, sir.
Yeah.
You a failed punk. You came over
Nah,
here because of us. You ain't
you
got
a
nothing
failed
going
pimp.
on. You
You
mad
the
because
failed pimp that
you
keeps
mad. No,
pimping.
I'm pimping you, sir. I'm
You
successful
ain't
at
pimping
making you
me.
my
You
bitch.
pimping your people.
No,
That's the only
you,
people.
sir. You the one
That's the
who's
only
all
people
with
you
your
pimp.
thong in a bunch, sir. You're
Nah,
my
buddy.
bitch. Listen to you. I
Man,
got you all emotional. You ain't got no
grab your
logic.
G-string out of Japan.
You up here lying about
Get
my
your
lady,
G-string out of
you.
Japan.
Only a
Yeah.
punk lies about a woman, sir. You are
Only a
old musty
punk will
punk.
call a straight
You
man
a goose
Only a
eating
punk gonna
punk.
call a straight
Only
man a
a
punk.
punk will
Shut
sit
your
up here
square
lying
ass up.
about a woman, sir. Yeah, and don't try to sound tough, sir. You ain't tough. Don't, and you go, ticklish
You
tether
ain't
time. It's ticklish
You
tether
ain't doing
time.
too good.
It's
You ain't doing
ticklish
too good
tether
today.
time, sir.
You ain't doing too good today, homie.
Sir, I'm doing great today. I
No,
got a
you ain't doing
ticklish
too
tether
good. Bring
crying
your
to
ass back
me.
to LA. Get the
I
panties
got
out.
a ticklish tether crying
Stop
about
pimping
you.
your people. Be a real
No,
black
I'm
man.
pimping you, sir. You're my bitch. How do
You
you
ain't
feel about
pimping
being
me.
my
You
bitch?
ain't. You can't
That's
pimp me. I never
Sam.
believed
You are
you.
my bitch, sir. You are my bitch.
I
How do you
never
feel about being
believed
my
you.
bitch? No,
I
you
never
are my
believed
bitch.
you,
You are
homie.
my bitch,
Since
sir.
Hidden Colors
How
1,
do you
I ain't
feel about
believe
being
you.
my bitch? How do you
Since
feel
Hidden
about being my
Colors
bitch?
1, I knew you was
How do you feel about being my
you was
bitch,
pimping
sir?
since Hidden Colors 1.
No, I'm pimping you now. You are my bitch. I got you in some flip-flop hoe heels running around a dirt road right now. You're my
Listen, and
bitch
I
right now. Listen to
got
you,
you
sir.
twerking all over Japan right now.
You're
Shut up.
emotional, sir.
Yeah, you
You're
twerking all over
musty and
Japan. You don't know
emotional.
what to say.
Now you lying about my lady like a punk, sir. Only punks do that, sir. All
You
right.
lying.
Anyway, sir, you, sir, are my bitch. I'm pimping you. You are my little musty whore. You're running up and down a dirt road in high heel flip flops, sir. Lying about my woman talking about her father's white. No, he ain't. When punks start lying about women, that's what you tethers do. You think people don't know you lying? You ain't got no damn argument. You just saying shit. You're just babbling, sir, out of frustration because this delineation has whooped your ass. Tethers ain't got no logic. They just start saying shit. Because now you gotta hold your own failure. You can't hide under us no more. Deal with it, punk.
Conversations going on right now. It's not
I don't give a shit. Let me tell.
We are cooked. We don't agree at all. That's the thing, Robin. That's why when I remember when I was explaining to you, remember I was explaining to you, I was saying that the reason why y'all have been succeeding for so long, for the last what 200-300 years, is because you had a common enemy, and it was black natives. It was black indigenous people, or just indigenous people, the red and black indigenous. Technically, because you know what, you knew that, like, yo, you know what, you could depend on the French, the Spaniards, and the Europeans. I mean, the English. Y'all wasn't fighting each other. That was the common denominator, was black, was the indigenous. Now the black Americans, also known as the black natives or indigenous, you can't fight those no more because they're not your problem. You brought other people to replace them, and you just heard what that man said. He said, yo, I came over to America to take your resources and bring it back to my country, even though they have the richest resources in Africa. They have more resources in Africa than in America. But they still come over here to parasite off the resources, as he said. So it's y'all made an enemy out of a person that wasn't an enemy. Y'all was already scared of people that already forgave you and just say, like, yo, stay the fuck away from us. And even to this day, y'all still can't stay away from us. You got Chud the Builder running around. You got the Nick Flintez. You got the Ku Klux Klan. You got the politicians. And this is where a lot of this stuff gets funky. A lot of this stuff, this is where I'm going to say this. This is where a lot of white Americans burnt their bridges. You can't use no more that, oh, we are all American. You can't use that. Not even, and I'm going to even throw this in there. The liberals, they burnt the bridges. How many times they put black Americans on the back burner and told us, yo, we got bigger problems to handle than reparations? They've been doing that shit for the last 50 years. Niggas woke up and smelled the fucking coffee and told them, like, yo, you know what? Nigga, you handle your shit by your own self. And we knew that and the thing about it, we knew that they couldn't handle it. We knew that, we knew the conservatives couldn't handle it. Look how they turned on each other. Look how it's a fucking circus in the White House, and fucking Donald Trump is PK Barnum. Donald Trump is fucking PK Barnum. He's running that fucking circus. You can't, and the thing about it, until this day, and I'm gonna say this, Robert, and you might not agree with me, white Americans still can't take a responsibility of how fucked up America is right now. Black Americans step the fuck back. You can't talk about black on black violence. You know why? Because most of those people who were doing it were from the Caribbeans, were from Africa, were Afro Latinos. But at the end of the day, America put them under black. They put them under African American. Now, when black Americans fought for delineation and we say, yo, where this nigga's from, you found out that they weren't even black American. Why you think let me ask you a question, Robin. Why you think you're getting different results now in 2026 than 10, 15 years ago? There's a reason. Because people can't hide under flat blackness no more. And like, this is why I say, yo, you know what? This is why I apologize to the Dominican Republic community. I apologize because when they say they weren't black, I believe them now. Who am I to tell them that they are black? I believe them when they say they're not black. I think they're an admixture of a few things. I think they're more European than indigenous. And I have told Dominicans that. I was like, yo, you're more European than Dominican. I mean, than indigenous and African. They are. So we gotta believe what they said when they say they're not black. I stopped laughing at that because at the end of the day, they're serious. It's now it's for the youngest generation to understand that they're not black. They're telling you that they're not black. So you know what? You gotta take them for what they are. You know? Caught another ant. But yeah, we are dying, dude. We might not be here for. You will, Robin. It's not gonna be a lot of y'all because at the end of the day, like I said, y'all are killing each other. You know, and this is why I say, you know what, this is why I always tell Saint Michael the meth head that, like, yo, a lot of y'all committing a lot of these harness crimes. Like my nigga in Massachusetts, this lady just killed her kids and tried to jump out the fucking window. Now she's paralyzed. There was a lady who was a police officer. A call was called to her house and she started bucking because she just had a baby and wish she had a post partum or some shit like that, and she just started bucking. Another lady in fucking Dedham, Massachusetts, ran over her fucking boyfriend. She'd been fighting this case for 2 years and she got off, and we know she ran him over. And it's not what you know, it's how you can prove it. This is what's happening in Massachusetts. There was another guy who strangled his wife and threw her in the water. And he just admitted it. So like it's a lot of this shit's happening. And don't get me wrong, there's some shit that's happening in Massachusetts, like some Haitian guy that shot up this place Monday, shot 4 people, injured 4 people, killed 1. There was another guy who ran over the lady after he stole a car, and the pedestrians just whooped this nigga's ass. And something just happened like 2 days ago where some Caribbean dude just shot some guy, and this was some hood shit. This was some street shit. I don't know if the guy was black or Caribbean, but they shot the nigga, and the nigga slumped this out. He was slumping and went into some house in Dorchester. And it was in broad daylight. Like, niggas are getting busy out here. Like, don't think, yeah, black people ain't killing themselves, but with black people, are they Caribbean? Because don't forget, a lot of these people bring their culture over here. If you're coming from a third world country, you're not going to be like, oh, yeah, now I'm so civilized. You're going to still have that mentality like you're still in that country. It takes time. But if you're not willing to adapt, then you have a problem. You know, let's get to the last video. I'm not gonna stay up with y'all all night because I did do like 2 hours already. It's just I had to shut that other one down, man, because I'm not gonna risk it, you know, getting flagged again and having to be out for 2 weeks. So I can't do it.
A lot of these people currently, different groups, they negotiate.
Very unfortunate decision in the Supreme Court concerning birthright. It was close, but a very, very unfortunate decision. So we're making adjustments because it's very unfair. This was done for a different reason. This was done right after the Civil War. This was for the babies of slaves. And what's happening now, people are building businesses around it. From wealthy people are building businesses around birthright citizenship. That's not the way it was supposed to work. It's a disgrace. They're buying their way in, and we're not going to let it happen. So, Steve, if you will, please.
Yes, so today the President signed these 2 executive orders here relating to birthright citizenship and birth tourism. As the President mentioned, the 14th Amendment was passed exclusively in the aftermath of the Civil War to ensure that the children of slaves would be citizens. It had no other meaning and purpose outside of that. And that's been clear, obviously, since the day that it was passed. You can go back and you can read the congressional debates. This is not something that's even seriously contested by anybody. The President is using his authority as Commander-in-Chief to sign first an executive order using the new ruling the Supreme Court issued to expand the definitions of people who are ineligible for birthright citizenship.
First thing we got to talk about, President Trump signed new executive orders, ladies and gentlemen. Yep, he signed new executive orders about the birthright citizenship situation. Oh, people thought that whole thing with the Supreme Court, they thought it was over. No, no, no. They left the door open for them to still make amendments. Oh, it's heavy. And some of the amendments are very, very interesting. Let me look at the Washington Post. Let me read from them. It says Trump tries. Oh, hold on. Hold on one second. Let me go to something else. Let me go to another. Let me go to another one. Trump tries again to curb birthright citizenship.
First of all, if 99% of FBA self-proclaim themselves as we know African descendant, it literally means that FBA is not. Be active. You can't know what you're doing right now, and I'm gonna be personally honest. You're doing because I'm white and I say so. But as a Puerto Rican, as a white Hispanic, you're doing I'm a white Hispanic and I say so, and because I say so. As many times as I told you that foundational Black Americans means Black American, it's just we're an admixture of other things, and you can't accept that. And for being a person who is an American citizen, be you know what? I'm not gonna argue with you. I'm just gonna let you think what you want to think. We all know you're not right. You have always been wrong. You never make any sense. You know, you're always trying to Africanize Black Americans, and that's your problem. You want to be ignorant. That's your problem. You're ignorant. You're not trying to understand what Black Americans are saying. And that's on you. You can be a fucking asshole all you want.
And birth tourism through executive action. This is CNN. It says Trump has taken another swing at limiting so-called birth tourism and birthright citizenship, citing a very unfortunate decision in the Supreme Court this year that struck down his earlier attempt to curb birthright citizenship. He signed an executive order Thursday, which appeared to largely target laws already in place and narrow recognize exceptions. It's seemingly a more limited attempt compared to an executive order Trump signed last year that sought to broadly end the right for children born in the country to people who are not U.S. citizens. So basically, with this new executive order, federal agencies, they're instructed to not issue or recognize documents affirming U.S. citizenship for children born in the states if either of their parents are not U.S. citizens, if their parents fall into one of the four specific categories. Alien enemies. Citizenship recognition will be denied if either parent is classified as an alien enemy. So this executive order defines this to include people who are members of a designated foreign terrorist organization or those labeled specifically as designated global terrorists. And I love TikTok Shop. Got to watch the words here. Also, the category restricts citizenship for the children of foreign and official diplomats. All right. So they said it applies if either parent is an ambassador or foreign government employee acting in an official government capacity, an employee of a foreign embassy or consulate who is a national of that foreign country, an employee of an international organization who possesses international organization immunity. The third category, they said, is people who are engaging in birthright tourism or birth tourism, agencies They're supposed to withhold citizenship documents from children whose parents engaged in fraudulent activities or commercial transactions expressly to access birthright citizenship. Any type of commercial transaction that has been made to ensure that the mother is present in the U.S. in order to give birth, they're saying that ain't gonna work. That's birth tourism. Or commercial surrogacy, like a commercial transaction made with a surrogate who is present in the United States or its territories to give birth. So that's another thing too. They have surrogates who try to do it for them. It's deep. They restrict citizenship or citizenship recognition for children born to for non-citizens in a U.S. territory within U.S. territorial waters whose birthright citizenship is not explicitly conferred by federal statute. Yeah, the Chinese, a lot of them, they use a lot of surrogates. Yeah, the Chinese use those U.S. surrogates. So they're still.
Be active. You're not educated. You're a stupid motherfucker. I'm gonna be personally honest. You're a stupid motherfucker. You know, ain't no way nobody, ain't no way you should be talking about no motherfucking IQ. How dumb as a motherfucker as you are, you can't talk about no motherfucking IQ. Technically, you should get a fucking CAT scan to see what the fuck is going on in your brain. You know, because let me tell you something. When your people was in New York running around here talking about they were fucking Germans, you don't want to talk about that shit. Doing all this shit and stuff like that. Oh, do you really want to talk about it? Now all of a sudden you just became black in 2026. The fuck is you talking about? The only person I think is black from your people was Big Pun, and I thought Big Pun was fucking Dominican. I'm gonna be personally honest. I always thought Big Pun was Dominican. And let me tell you something. Your real problem. Let me tell you what your real problem is. You can't accept that you can't do shit by yourself. You always need a handout. Niggas is tired of y'all trying to cosplay somebody. Be yourself. Everybody else is taken. Like I don't get y'all. Y'all say you don't want to fuck with us. We say okay, you don't gotta fuck with us. Y'all tell us y'all ain't black. We say okay, you're not black anymore. Now when y'all niggas get yourself into some in a fucking pickle, now all of a sudden everybody needs black and brown unity. And I told y'all years ago there was no such thing as no black and brown unity. There has never been black and brown unity. It has only been black people who fuck black and brown that fucked with each other. It collectively it has never been a black and brown unity. It's only been black and brown unity when when it was a transaction or when it was benefiting one side. And it wasn't black people. Black people didn't benefit from fucking black and brown unity. Like let's all like I'm just being honest with you. Be active. Like cause I fuck with your people heavy. And I know you try to like trauma bond or guilt trip me because my little brother's half Puerto Rican. But that shit got nothing to do with the history of your people in New York. Cause you're from New York. Nigga, you was running around here talking about you was a German. Then after that, the Irish had to tell you you are a nigga. Y'all ain't no white people. And technically, y'all are white Hispanics. Don't get me wrong. Y'all are white Hispanic. But y'all are the bastards of the white Hispanics. And there's nothing wrong with that. They just left y'all niggas out to dry and y'all created a whole new culture. And that's what's beautiful about it. Y'all got a dope ass culture that y'all should be happy of. But y'all not, and this is the thing about it, y'all very ungrateful because y'all not happy of your culture. Why do I have to tell you how great your culture is? Why do I have to tell you the great things about your culture? Every time I'm on here, I always have to tell you, I always have to, inspire you to support your culture. All this black and brown unity bullshit never happened. But I tell y'all, okay, yeah, y'all got your own genre. Y'all got fucking freestyle with John B and all them niggas, Rockwell and them. Y'all don't even want to take that music. Y'all don't even want to support John B. I mean, Stevie B. And I'm gonna even tell y'all this. There are some people who are in black music that are Puerto Rican, such as Maxwell. Maxwell is one of the greatest singers in my book. He's Puerto Rican and Haitian. Y'all don't even support Max B. Black Americans have been supporting Max B forever. I love me some Max B. I want to go to this nigga's concert. I mean, not Max B, Maxwell. I want to go to a Maxwell concert. But the thing about it, y'all don't support y'all own people. I always had a problem. This is I'm gonna tell you something. This is why I always had a problem with y'all at. Y'all have great artists. Y'all have great people. Y'all have great music. Your food is decent. Cause I don't eat the shit. I don't really eat Spanish food, but y'all have great food. I like the plantains, the greased up plantains. I love those. But y'all don't support it. Y'all don't support it. But y'all want hip hop. Y'all want R&B. Y'all want our style. Y'all overwear Jordans. Like, come on, what is we talking about? And like I said, y'all have a great style. Y'all have a great culture. Y'all have a great lineage. Y'all don't want to support it. Be active. You never. Let me tell you something. Be active. Ever since you got on this show in my live chat, because I won't let you on here because you's broke. Well, you could come on here today because it's Friday, but you don't support your culture. Just like Africa. They don't support their culture. The only people who support their culture is people who don't come to America or people who are in Africa or people who are in like Europe somewhere, certain parts of Europe. They support their culture. They support their traditions. But be active. You are embarrassed of you're embarrassed of your culture and your lineage. As many I just went on a rant and I told you the great things about Puerto Rican culture for 10 minutes. And this is your comeback. You must be daydreaming because nobody wants to unite with no house pet FBA. You just call me a fucking animal. You just call me a fucking animal. And this is why I say, yo, there has never been no black and brown unity. That's how you think of black people. You think of black people as animals. That's how you think of black people. You're not proud to be Puerto Rican. You're proud of being Puerto Rican now because I called you out. I told you so many great things about Puerto Rican culture. You just want to be African. You want to be black. You don't want to be Puerto Rican. And y'all are an admixture. Y'all admixture of multiple things. Just like black Americans, you're an admixture. You're an admixture. And there's nothing wrong with that. Are y'all Hispanic? Y'all are more Hispanic than indigenous. I've been said that. And the reason why, because y'all was colonized. Y'all didn't win that colonized war. Y'all lost a battle and a war. That's why they call y'all Puerto Ricans. The reason the word Puerto Ricans meant a port of gold. That's what the Spaniards, that's why the Spaniards or the conquistadors called y'all Puerto Rican, Puerto Rico. No, no, you think of black Americans as animals. And at the end of the day, this is why I say you and your people go fuck themselves. This is why there has never been no black and brown unity. I'm just being personally honest. You have always thought of black Americans as animals because you know what? You have a colorism problem. You always had a colorism problem. I told you you had a colorism problem. You didn't believe me. You felt so comfortable calling me and other black people animals. And you know I'm gonna clip this, be active. You know I'm gonna clip this. You're gonna disappear for another month fucking around with me. Cause every time I see you, I'm gonna say, yep, this is Be Active who called black Americans animals. Yes. No, not Richport. Y'all a port of gold because Puerto Rico was known for gold. Your island had a whole bunch of gold until the Spaniards took it and brought it back to Spain. Now y'all have coconuts and iguanas and shit and frogs. That's what y'all known for now. Coconuts, bacalao, fucking frogs, and fucking iguanas. That's what y'all niggas is known for now. Like I say, I like Puerto Rico, but I'd rather eat a glass sandwich than to go to your country, player. Iguanas and shit. And frogs. That's what... Yeah. It's a beautiful country. Very beautiful, but I'm not going. I'm not going. I tell niggas that I'm not going. Keep my ass in Massachusetts. But yeah, this is what you think of black Americans, and you probably think of Afro Americans, Afro Cuban, I mean, Afro Latinos that way because you know what? You have a colorism problem. You think you white. That's your problem. Be active. That's why I call you a white Hispanic because that's what you are. You know what you are, really are. You're just trying to cosplay of being a melanated person. Nothing wrong with it. Yeah. But again, that's your problem. That's a you problem. That's a you and your lineage's problem. But yeah, you have a colorism problem. Do you women fuck with black Americans? Yes, they fuck with black Americans and stuff. It's cool. But at the end of the day, I'm not gonna act like you don't have a colorism problem. You're just like the Argentinians. They have a colorism and a racist problem. You have a racist problem, be active. Well, a racist problem now. You probably always had it. I don't want to care how many black people you know and stuff like that, because that's very insulting.
They're not letting it go. They're still cracking down. And Trump and his staff today, they doubled down when they did a speech about it today, explaining the executive order. They reiterated the 14th Amendment was made for the children of slaves. All right? They keep driving that home, ladies and gentlemen. They said again, the 14th Amendment was not made for birth tourism and none of this stuff. It was made for the children of slaves. That's foundational black Americans, ladies and gentlemen. We are the children of slaves. They're talking about lineage. All right? I want y'all to understand that. This is what really chaps some people's ass. This is chapping a lot of people's asses, ladies and gentlemen, because we are centered in this. All right? Now, how does this benefit us? Listen.
That's black Americans. No matter how you put it, that's just a code word. It's just be active. What you're doing is you're just saying a code word just to say, yo, I don't like black people. Like, let me ask you a question. Be active. You think what you're doing is anything new? Like the white supremacists have never done that before? I don't like black people. I just have a problem. I just hate Black Lives Matter. This is just a code word of saying you don't like black people. I'm not saying I don't like black people. I just hate the niggas and the gangsters. You don't think that what you have done has never been done before? Then you talk about slavery like it's a normal thing. Calling a black American a house pet, nigga? Like, are you serious? This is your everybody. This is your black and brown unity. That's black and brown unity. This is why I say, yo, it's not a collective thing. There are riders. There are some people who are Spanish or Caribbean or African that fucks with black people, but there's not a collective. It has never been a collective. Yeah, there has never been a collective. There's some people that fuck with black people. There's some people that fuck with Latinos. But at the end of the day, it's not a collective. It can't be a collective. They come from a different culture. A lot of these people don't try to figure. A lot of these people, and I'm gonna say this: what Be Active is doing is the same thing what they did in hip hop when they ran around here saying, "Yo, that shit is Moreno's music. That's Moreno music. That's Moreno music. That's jungle music. That's that nigga music." Then all of a sudden, when it got popping, there was a few niggas that were riders. It wasn't a whole collective. There was a ride. There was a few riders that was fucking with it. That were rebels, and they hung out with black Americans. But they told the troops like, "Yeah, my mom don't want. They don't like black people in the house." But they still fuck with you. It's like, yo, my mom ain't fucking with you. I'm still gonna fuck with you. There were Spanish people like that, but it wasn't a lot. There wasn't a lot. There wasn't a lot of Caribbeans either. The Caribbeans were doing reggae. It's just it is what it is. Like I don't have a problem with that. I'm not mad about that. It just but I'm not gonna sit here and have you lie be active. You can't even tell me your own history. I had to tell you that you was a white Hispanic. You still talking about you one of them 23 and me niggas type of niggas. That's what you are, man. That's what you rice and bean motherfuckers always got to stop that shit, man. And it's y'all really have to stop it because at the end of the day, there's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with your culture. And rice and actually, I can't even call y'all niggas rice and beans because you know what? Black people do rice and beans. Africans do rice and beans. Caribbeans do rice and beans. So y'all can't even be rice and bean niggas. You know, because that's a false narrative that I'm pushing, and I shouldn't do that. So, my apologies to the Latino community, because you know Black Americans cook rice and beans too, and we probably use black beans, and y'all use some other type of beans. You know, y'all beans be busting too. So, mm. But yeah, but be active. Let me tell you something. So what if they do push this? So the fuck what? How does that affect you? You're not Taino. The Spaniards killed off all the time, killed off most of the Taínos. And most of the Taínos were dark skinned. You're not even dark skinned. You're a conquistador type of nigga. What you mean? Always talking about use a Taino, my nigga. Cut that shit out, man. The fucking conquistadors killed off most of the Taínos, but damn near 90% of everybody in your country is Taino. Is that what we're saying? And you know what you call that? Be active. You call that an admixture. Let's play hypotheticals because you like to play hypotheticals. You are Anglo-Saxon. What you think a Spaniard is? A Spaniard is a white boy. He's a white boy who speaks Spanish. But let's play hypotheticals. Let's say you are Taino. You say you're Taino. You say you African. You say you're Spanish. That's an admixture. That's an admixture. I just said that. So now the question is, how can you be Taino, African, and Spaniard if that's an admixture? If you haven't had a proper solid mix, haven't had a proper just one lineage in the last 200-300 years. That's an admixture. Don't forget, like I said, the Spaniards killed off the Taínos. And you are Anglo-Saxon. That's what the Spaniards again. And Spanish is a language. You a Spaniard. Don't even fucking know. Dickhead, man.
This administration,
We're gonna play like
they
10 more minutes
publicly
of this and we're gonna
validated
call it the night.
the historical foundation of foundational Black American citizenship. You know, we got the highest level of federal government publicly acknowledging why the 14th Amendment became necessary. All right, the 14th Amendment did not emerge from a generalized concern about no damn immigration. It came after the Civil War because we let them know that our labor in us building this nation is not going to be denied, and we need to override that Dred Scott decision that tried to strip our citizenship from us, because we were already citizens. They just tried to strip it. We said, no, no, no. Let's codify this thing. Let's just make it a fact. Let's get the receipt on our citizenship. So the 14th Amendment, that was a constitutional response to them acknowledging that we are citizens of the nation that we built. Yeah? Our ancestors were not standing outside America asking to be let in. We were already here. We built the nation, fought in all the wars, produced the wealth, survived state-sanctioned enslavement, and so you damn right we're citizens. The hell are you talking about? So the citizenship question surrounding our ancestors in America, that's them. They're being forced to recognize that we, as a specific lineage, we were wronged, and they had to make it right. So this wasn't America extending an immigration benefit to newcomers.
This guy's so fucking stupid. You know Creole means like broken or like mixed language. That's why they have Cape Verdean Creole, Haitian Creole, Creole in America. It just means just a mixed language. Like technically you speak a Creole because you're not really speaking the real Spanish. You speak Spanglish, but you don't speak Spanish. That's why if you go to Spain, you start talking the bullshit that you be talking, they'll be like, yo, they'll probably spit on you. Like, and I'm being serious. Like, be active. What the? This is the type of niggas that be in New York. Like, oh, man. I wonder why your country, I wonder why your state is going on a downgrade, you know? I used to think New York was super dope. FBA's that Anglo-Saxon colonizer. But be active. Who cares? You're just mad because nobody's not fighting for you. You know, you already called me a fucking dog, so like, what do you? I don't get what you're saying. Like, be active. You gotta get your shit together. First of all, you was talking about black and brown unity. You wouldn't even give your nigga. You wouldn't even give your own nigga $5 so he can jump on a link. You just disappeared. You was like, I'm not giving him no money. You just talking about black and brown unity. You let that nigga look crazy because he was broke and you didn't want to help him. Like I say, you're a parasite. Be active. You're a parasite. Like real talk. You's a parasite. No matter how you feel about that, you just do parasitic shit. You know. In the Caribbean, Creole is not just a language. It's defined as. You mean an admixture? fucking New Yorkers, man. This is what y'all New York. Oh man, you gotta be from the Bronx. Be actor. Are you from the Bronx? You gotta be a Bronx nigga, because it's just yeah. I'm not trying to say the Bronx are idiots, but y'all more aggressive. It's so hard. It's so hard to explain the Bronx. Like they come out of pocket, but at least some of them has some brains, you know. Like a nigga like you, man, like I know you're trying to be insulting and you're like just copying whatever you wrote over, you know, because you fucked up and made a mistake. But my nigga, I don't care. That's your problem. You don't know where Creole is. We already looked up Creole. We did this before. Be active. We did this before. We did this before, and I proved you wrong. We looked up the definition of Creole. We looked it up. You're just making up stuff now. Like you are, and I know, and it's all right, and it hurts. I know you get mad when I say shit like that, but like, yo, my nigga, you don't even know your own culture in New York. Like you don't. Like when I talk about the Germans, you don't even know what that means. Yeah, okay. Let me ask you a question. Be active. Do you think you came over to like New York and Massachusetts with open arms to like Black Americans? You didn't. You didn't. You came over to New York already on the side of the white supremacists. Also, the Irish, because the Irish was white at that time, and the Irish had to tell you y'all are not white. And that's what made y'all come on the side of the Black Americans. Then in the 80s, y'all turned on black people again. And that's how the Latin Kings were created in New York. Yeah. Like y'all have never like like I don't have to lie about this be actor. I have no grudge against none of them. But at the end of the day, this is history. This is history in New York. You should know. You're older than me. You was born in what, 60s, 70s? And you don't know how most of this shit was started in New York? I could tell you's a Bronx nigga. I could tell you're a Bronx nigga. Like y'all women are beautiful, but them girls come out of pocket. You don't know what the fuck you talking about. You act like a regular Puerto Rican Bronx nigga. Disrespecting black people, always got some type of racial intention against black people. That's how a lot of y'all Bronx Puerto Ricans are. Am I lying or are you gonna say I'm lying? He ain't gonna tell the truth. And I'm gonna say this, y'all make up this funky ass fairy tale talking about, oh yeah, the Puerto Ricans and the blacks was hanging out together, yada yada yada. No, a, a few of them were hanging out with the blacks. A lot of y'all couldn't fuck with the blacks because of your parents. My uncle Ox used to live in New York. I hated going down to New York with y'all niggas. I'm just being personally honest. My uncle Ox lives in New York. Like I said, I hated going down there. I'd rather stay in Boston, where in Boston, like in my projects, what you're talking about, how the Bronx is, that's how my projects was. Everybody was chilling together. Puerto Ricans was chilling with the blacks, Dominicans, even some Caribbeans. There wasn't that many Caribbeans because all the black people in JP were from Georgia. We were all from Georgia, just chilling. We're all cousins. You know, and it, like I said, it's be actor. You lie a lot. Um, again, like You can't lie to me. I just know how it was in New York, especially in the Bronx. And I love Bronx, you know? But I wouldn't be excited to go back to see the Bronx again. Why would I want to go back to going to a bodegas and the fucking cats is on the bread, sleeping on the fucking bread? And you have to, yo, Poppy, really? Got the cat sleeping on the fucking bread? Like, nigga, what happened if I had allergies, man? I would fucking die in your fucking store, man. Are you serious? Don't tell me what to do. All that Spanish, man. It just be like that. But let me end this show, man. We already hit the 3 hour mark. I basically did like 5 hours. I apologize
So that
about the
came.
other show, but I had to. I can't risk getting another strike again. So yeah, not until like September 11th. But I'm lying about. You lying about everything, be active. You lied about black and brown unity. You lied about your own culture. You lied about Creoles. You don't even know what a fucking Creole is. You just making up shit. Um, you lied about black Americans. You call black Americans animals. You call black people animals. And like that's a part of your culture. It's cool, but we can't I'm not going to have you act like, "Oh yeah, it was only FBAs like they're not black Americans." Like FBAs don't mean black Americans. So like my nigga, it is what it is. You know, yeah, I know you don't care. I know you don't care. Don't worry. Um, and this is why I said I'm not gonna block none of y'all. You know, people will watch it. You know, people gonna watch your bullshit. People gonna watch what you say. I'm gonna clip it. You know, so it's fine. You'll just disappear for another 2 3 months because you fucked up and said some foul shit about black people. But it's cool. I don't get mad about that. Fuck it. You know. You know. I don't. I just know how you. That's how you are. You know. But yeah. I'm a land to say this. This is why a lot of people is having a hard time. I'm glad that Robin said something super dope. I forgot. Let me go back in the live chat. And he said, because I was explaining to him like he feels like his people are being attacked, and he's an Irishman, so he's a white American. So I told I told Robin that well, you got to blame yourself because at the end of the day, as I've been telling people for the last 2 years, I was like, yo, you got to police your people. If you don't police your people, even though if you don't want to, even though if you feel like you don't have no power, you have to try to make some type of try. You got to try. You know, if you don't try, like how you can't do it. This is why um a lot of y'all are in these situations right now where a lot of y'all are in these situations right now where y'all don't know what to do. Y'all feel like you're being attacked. Y'all feel like y'all are oppressed. But the thing about it is it's just with the immigrants, black Americans just gave a little pushback and say, yo, you're not gonna be talking to me like that. You know, they so used to like downgrading black Americans. They so used to undermining black Americans where black Americans are saying, yo, you're gonna stop talking to me like that. Or you're gonna stop saying this like that because what black Americans do, they just bring up your history. Like what I did with Be Active. I brought up his whole history. He wrote a whole fucking book within a matter of 10 minutes after I told him how great his people are. As I say, yo, you should support instead of getting into these FBA and this black diaspora situations, empower your people. Empower your people to understand black Americans. Empower your people to understand what a foundational black American is. Don't you? Let me ask y'all a question. Do you think that would be much more easier to understand what these Black Americans is talking about when they say foundational Black America. When they say tether, if they say tether, what happened if they're not even talking about you? You know how easy that would be. Like, oh yeah, I get these folks. I understand what they're talking about. I don't like it, but I understand. And I understand why they said it. It would be much more easier, and you can police your people at the same time. Like, yo, you gotta stop acting like this because at the end of the day, you're shining a light on us. What you're shining a light on us that's not all of us. That's probably like 2-3% of y'all. You know, but like people like Be Active don't want to do that. He don't want to put forth the effort. He just want to reap the benefits. That's all he wants to do. He wants to reap the benefits and guilt trip people. Why the fuck you want to guilt trip people that wants to support their own lineage? Why you want to denigrate somebody's lineage? Then you're gonna say, "Oh, that's not a lineage," after they're telling you it's a lineage. You know, and this is a problem with people. This is why there's a big divide. You know, and the only people who's gonna suffer, not Black Americans, but your people. Your people. Because the people who understand y'all is Black Americans. They understand y'all. They understand what you go through. We take time to understand what y'all going through and try to understand y'all problems. This is why we always fought for y'all. But now y'all burnt y'all bridges where Black Americans like, yo, we rather just worry about ourselves. This shit ain't got nothing to do with us. Like this one girl was disappointed at me when she was talking about immigration. I said, yo, that shit ain't got nothing to do with my people. I said I want my people to stay out of that. She felt disappointed, but she didn't understand why I said that. I was like, yo, your people have been denigrating my people ever since they got over here in the 60s and the 70s. Technically the 70s. I personally would have told my people not to help. You're calling a black person an Anglo-Saxon, and you're the one who claiming a Spaniard. That don't make sense. Be active. You just claimed a white man. You claim a Spaniard, but you want to shit on white people. You want to shit on the Spaniard, but you want to claim them as well. So it just like I said, be active. That shit just doesn't make sense with that what you're doing. Like you're confused. Be active, and I think you're going through an identity crisis. You know, so it is what it is. Like I said, that's your culture. Your racial tensions is your culture. Like I said, and I hope the Puerto Rican community is paying attention to this shit. Because at the end of the day, this is why a lot of y'all getting pushback. This is why a lot of y'all don't want to get. That's why a lot of black people don't want to deal with y'all because of be active. It's just easy just to stay out the shit, you know, and let him feel. But as y'all mostly y'all gonna do is not, take accountability and blame black people. Like what B Actor's doing. He's blaming black people because they want to claim their own lineage and they only want to work for themselves. That's like a nigga who say, yo, I'm gonna quit my job so I can be my own boss. And the nigga's like, oh, why you wanna be your own boss? Oh, what you want to be under the man? You want to be under the white man? You want to work for the white man? It's just that's the shit that Be Active is doing. Trying to guilt trip people. You know, but these are the type of people that we're dealing with. Like I said, it's a lot of this stuff is over, and it's just I'm gonna say this to a lot of these people. To a lot of people, this is just a new thing. They're not used to this. This is a culture shock. That's why I say I don't really blame a lot of immigrants for that shit because it's a culture shock. They're so used to black Americans helping. They're so used to black Americans with the unity. Even white people, even the white Americans, they're so used to unity. When America had a problem, all we gotta say is, "Oh, we're all American." Black Americans like, nah, yeah, we all American, but you handling your own shit. You the ones who started this bullshit. So you're gonna have to figure that shit out yourself. So it is what it is. You know, it's like I said, it's a culture shock. Y'all get through it. Haiti, you'll get through it. And I'm gonna say this. You see how Be Active didn't talk about birthright citizenship. He just went right into Black Americans. You know, we're talking about birthright citizenship, but he want to come on my live and call Black people animals. That's crazy. This is the type of people. This is the type of people we deal with. I'm just being personally honest, and it's not all of them, but it's enough. You know, it's enough to say like, yeah, man, I'll just step back. Let them deal what they got to deal with. If a nigga go to jail, we say, oh, that's not us. That's his community. His community got to deal with that. It's like I said, it is. I always tell people, it's just, it is what it is. Don't get upset. It's just, this is how a lot of people, deal with, culture shock. So it's something new to them. But I'm gonna say, everybody, thank y'all for being on the show. We hit the 3 hour mark, and I apologize. I had to do it again, but I'm not gonna take a chance on getting a copy straight. So we would have did 4 hours, but I have to do three. It's already almost 1 o'clock. But let me give my shout out. Oh, there's only a few. Be Actor, Ursula, E Will, Rando. Let me think of the other ones in the last one. Also Dorsey. Also, I think Ray Ray and a few other people. And also shout out to Robin from Kick, and thank Twitter too for letting me live stream on their platform as well. Even though it's Elon Musk, fuck it. Thank you anyways. You know. Um and I will probably see y'all. I'll see y'all Monday. With a new kicker. I'll start something tomorrow. Something tomorrow afternoon. And take care, and I'll see you again Monday.